everybody. The first theory we're going to be talking about is the Doris Earth theory. That's right. We're going to have another Doris Spore theory. I can't wait for this live stream. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Just thought that room was creepy. Hello, those door holes are even creepier. Especially those classic toys. I see. I see four slider pussies. Seriously, there are a lot of food toys. And they all hit place in a dark room. Which makes it even creepier. Seriously, just shut down. Creepy, right? Double boots means double trouble. When you see two boots, they mean double trouble. Hi, Antonio. Just time. Why is there boots toiling on the ground? Boots, you're not stargazing. You're in your room. How dumb is Boots anyway? Good God, Boots is always idiotic, even when he's a busted toy. I see another Sniper Plus. And another Sniper Plus. That's right, Antonio. I censored the F word. Anyways, without further ado, let's get this live stream officially started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the live stream. But this entire room was creepy. Especially those dark toys. They make the room even creepier. Especially those boots toys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boots toys. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 swiper. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 swiper posses. There's koi bots. That's all right, yeah, Judy. You're fine. Yeah, I agree with you, Son Salisbury. The swiper posses. There are 4 swiper posses and 6 boots toys. And seriously, what's flashing in the background? I'll tell you what is, Nat Judy. It's another door theory. Seriously, this tile. Seriously, this entire room was creepy. Ha! Doing our head ripped off. See his birthday. Not only is Store's head ripped, but one of the Explorer stars. Not only is Store's head ripped, but this. This entire room was creepy. Especially those door toys, which are even more creepier. Especially these boots toys. Pure boots need double trouble. Ha! You want to zoom down? This time was creepy. I'll do this. Oh, this time was creepy. Especially with those door toys, which be even more creepier. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boots toys. And 1, 2, 3, 4 swiper pussies. Honestly, these boots pussies. Good God. Honestly, those boots pussy toys are the most creepiest of all door toys. Ha! Doing our head ripped off. That's right from the bad soul. Oh yeah. Not only is Dora's head ripped off, but the Explorer star she's holding right now also lost its legs. That Explorer star deserved it. I mean seriously, why is the Explorer star still smiling? At least Dora got her head ripped off. She deserved it. What's that happen next? Doing Explorer? What? You're a failure. You're never sorry for the stupid theme song. Ha! The theme song glitched! You're gonna serve that theme song glitched. I'm not helping you, Dora. You deserved it. That's not Dora's voice.
Hola, Internet. Bienvenido a la teoría del cine. Today we're the show that needs your help. Can you see the subscribe button?
It's right there.
if you see it. There it is. Thanks for helping me out. In case you haven't figured it out, today we're heading out into the jungle and talking about the Nickelodeon classic Dora the Explorer.
Boy, you're a failure.
Those of you who haven't seen it, the show is all about a girl named Dora and her monkey friend Boots.
Yeah, I know the plot is. It's about Dora and Boots, and it's on failure ventures. Oh yeah, sorry, it's called failure ventures. More like boring and unnecessary adventures. Not adventures, dangerous and unnecessary adventures. Here's what the real popularity sport is. It's about doing boots, doing on dangerous and unnecessary adventures. How's it doing, everybody? And always doing everything. And always doing everything big,
Explorer. For those of you who haven't seen it, to the jungle and talking about this, thanks for helping me out. In case you haven't figured it out, today we're heading.
Yeah, I agree with you about me. Road. Yeah, I agree with you about me. I hate Robo Crew as well. This is why I'm not watching this stupid show. Robo Crew is just as bad as Dora Explorer.
Hola, Internet. Bienvenido a la teoría del cine. Today we're the show that needs your help. Can you see the subscribe button?
It's right there.
Where?
It's right there! You see, this is what I hate about Dora Explorer. It's about that door's always wide. It's always staffed. And all the hitters on the show are extremely annoying. I don't really like about me. Maybe just wants the money. That's why. Don't let me start with Dora reboot. Don't even let me start that stupid Dora reboot. I agree with you about me. Mrs. Red River, all you hear is about the money. That's it.
Click on it if you see it. There it is. Thanks for helping me out. In case you haven't figured it out, today we're heading out into the jungle and talking about the Nickelodeon classic Dora the Explorer.
Boy, I'm doing a failure.
For those of you who haven't seen it, the show is all about a girl named Dora and her monkey friend Boots.
Yeah, I know what the plot is. Everybody knows what Dora Explorer is all about. It's about Dora and Boots, Dora on board adventures, sitting at the Renaissance, and always doing dangerous stuff. That's what the real popularity sport is about. It's about Dora and Boots annoying everybody around them. Here's what the real popularity sport is about. It's about Dora and Boots doing on board adventures, sitting annoying songs, and always doing dangerous stuff. That's what the real popularity sport is about.
Dora's trying to get somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
I agree. Dora always never sees
In both English and somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
I agree.
Dora's trying to get somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
I definitely agree with you. Dora is the most brightest character I've ever seen in my entire life. Dora's a classic example of
to get somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
I definitely agree with you! Good dog! Dora has to be the most brightest character in all of the Junior.
Dora's trying to get somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
I definitely agree with you! Because honestly, Dora has to be the most brightest person I've ever seen in my entire life. She never sees or hears anything! Let's be honest, you guys. Dora is the last example of a negative stereotype in cartoon history. I definitely agree with you about Miko. I want yeah, I agree with you about Miko. No, Nico. Yeah, I agree with you about Miko. I want those you go remove either. Yeah, Metal and Big Blue are way better than Rowan Crew. Rowan Crew? More faster like Crew.
Did you see the banana?
It is
They're right over there, Dora.
because let's face it, she never sees anything.
Did you see the banana?
It is
They're right there, Dora.
right there, Dora. Right there. Are you even trying? Dora's trying to get somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
Did you see the banana?
It is Dora's trying to get somewhere in every episode.
Morphle always sucks to begin with. Because Morphle is boring. Just a dot speed. Hey, I heard that. Some dot speed. Nobody cares.
Dora's trying to get somewhere in every episode, and the viewer has to help Dora by screaming at the television in both English and Spanish, because let's face it, she never sees anything.
I definitely agree with you. Let's face it. Dora has to be one of the most brightest people I've ever seen in my entire life. Hell, she's the most brightest person I've ever met. Because she can't hear or see anything. Your daughter's still in the hospital. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Dora is a classic example of the negative fight stereotype in cartoon history.
Did you see the banana?
It is right there, Dora. Right there. Are you even trying? Just turn around.
Yeah, I agree with you. Seriously, let's do my face right now. It's like she's staring into my soul. I saw baby bird boobs. And they're both more and honestly, baby bird boobs are honestly.
Did you see the banana?
It is right there, Dora. Right there. Are you even trying? Just
No, she's not crying. In fact, she's on her face right now. Creepy, isn't it? Your thoughts like you're staring to my soul. And baby Boo Bird and Boo
whole show's presented as an old school educational point and
I do remember when The Little Mermaid actually did air Disney Junior back in the day, the 1992 TV series, that is. In 2012, when I first watched The Little Mermaid on Disney Junior, it always aired at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. When I first watched The Little Mermaid on Disney Junior, it aired at 5:30 in the morning. So I had to wake up extra early to watch this show.
click video game, kind of like Putt Putt or Jam Sam.
Putt Putt and Sam Sam are way better than Dora the Failure. I hope Dora that spread up. I hope Dora that spread over my Putt Putt.
Though, looking at the animation here, it looks a bit closer to those old, awful Zelda CDI games.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
I will tell ya, Dora, you're boring. Doesn't dodge me. Hey, look that! Stop dodge me. Nobody cares about you.
This is that the whole show's presented as an old school educational point and click video game, kind of like Putt Putt or Jam Sam.
I hope Putt Putt.
As an old school educational point and click video game, kind of like Putt Putt or Jam.
Sorry, style.
Show's presented as an old school educational point and click video game. Kind of like a twist is that the whole show's presented as an old school educational point and click video game, kind of like Putt Putt or Jam Sam.
I hope Putt Putt runs over Dora.
Twist is that the whole show's presented as an old school educational point and click video game, kind of like Putt Putt or Jam Sam.
I hope Dora run over my Putt Putt. Putt Putt is way better than Dora. Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, Putt Putt seems to settle from Dora. Oh yeah, this is for you, Dora. The lion. Shut up, Dora. You deserve that.
Though, looking at the animation here, it looks a bit closer to those old, awful Zelda CDI games.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
I agree with you, Lynn. Dora, you're boring. Doesn't dodge me. Hey, like that. Shut up, dodge me. Nobody cares about you. Dodge me. The snooze fest of dirty stuff. And no, dodge me. You never will do it. And no, dodge me. You can't do it. You never will do it. So shut up already. Paul Jones, when has there been a Doing Sport episode with the title resigned to it? Never. I already know what's not for dinner. Poop on the boat. Yeah! I am not eating poop on the boat because it's disgusting. That's completely unsanitary. You wanna know what I really want for dinner? Pretzels and tortilla chips because those are real food.
My boy.
But of course, it couldn't be a video game without some sort of obstacle in the player's way. Other than simple puzzle solving, the main thing that keeps Dora and Boots from proceeding is a fox named Swiper.
Swiper! Way better than Dora! Swiper, keep on swiping! Swiper, keep on swiping! Swiper, keep on swiping!
So named because he likes stealing their stuff. Boots from proceeding is a fox way. Other than simple puzzle solving, the main thing that keeps Dora and Boots from proceeding is a fox named Swiper. So
Swiper! Way better than Dora! Swiper, keep on swiping! Swiper, keep on swiping! Swiper, keep on swiping! episode called Resigned to It? Right? Oh my goodness, there actually is an episode called Resigned to It? Sorry about that, Paula. What to his face? Stop it, Dora! Your face is creepy.
Awful Zelda CDI games.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
I agree
But
with
of
you,
course,
Rick.
it couldn't be a
Dora
video game
is
without some
boring. To the dog speed. Heard that? Shut dog speed and stop high at it.
sort of obstacle in the player's way. Other than simple puzzle solving, the main thing that keeps Dora and Boots from proceeding is a fox named Swiper, so
Swiper! Way better than Dora.
puzzle solving, the main thing that keeps Dora and Boots from proceeding is a fox. Of course, it couldn't be a video game without some sort of
Shut up, Dora. You are not gonna steal Ariel's tail. And you never will.
Of course, it couldn't be a video. But of course, it couldn't be a video game without some sort of obstacle in the player's way. Other than simple puzzle solving, the main thing that keeps Dora and Boots from proceeding is a fox named Swiper, so
Swiper! Way better than Dora. Swiper, keep on swiping. Swiper, keep on swiping. Swiper, keep on swiping. Yeah, I have a review about me. Oh, Mariana is way better than Dora.
so named because he likes stealing their stuff.
That sneaky bastard is always trying to swipe our stuff.
And
Yeah, I know that boot stuff's obvious already.
just like everything else in the show,
Yeah, I know what Dora's going to say. Swipe it, no, swipe it. Swipe it, no, swipe it. Swipe it, no, swipe it. Shut up. No one cares, Dora. Oh, it looks like Swiper's gonna steal your backpack. No, no! Swiper, no! Swiper, you're too late. You'll never find your backpack now. Shut up, Dora. You deserved it. Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, Dora stopped being friends with mobile characters from her show after it ended. I want my backpack back! Shut up, Dora! And no, you're not getting your precious backpack back! Want a new backpack? I'm gonna get you a Rhino backpack! Shut up, Dora! You deserved it!
Dora doesn't ever see Swiper coming. So
Obviously, she doesn't seem so.
else in the show, Dora doesn't ever see Swiper coming. Everything else in the show, Dora doesn't ever see Swiper coming. So
Well, obviously, she doesn't see Swiper because he's always blind and she's always deaf.
we, the viewer, are left screaming at our TV.
I already know. Swiper no swiping. Swiper no swiping. More like Swiper yes swiping. Or should I say, more like Swiper keep on swiping.
Is whatever Swiper.
I mean, seriously, look at Swiper's face right now. Swiper has really high with Dora. You see? Even Swiper's high of Dora's ant hits.
Swiper shows up like Walter yelling at Jesse. Thankfully,
No! No, Paula! Dora has never had so I hope! That's what's for
Swiper in his tracks is super easy. All Dora, Boots, and the viewer have to do is politely ask him to stop.
Y'all know what that is. Swiper, don't swipe it. Swiper, don't swipe it. We already know. More like, Swiper, unswipe it.
3 times.
Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping.
More like, Swiper, unswipe it. Swiper, unswipe it. Swiper, unswipe it.
Oh, man.
Yep, Swiper just snaps his fingers and gives up. Kind of like he's thinking, well, what else am I gonna do? They asked me to stop. Stop, man. Swiper just snaps his fingers and gives up. Kind of like he's thinking, well, what else am I gonna do? They asked me to stop after all. But something about Swiper that's always bothered me is that this strategy actually works. Without fail, just standing there and repeating Swiper, no swiping a few times gets him to stop and just go away. It is.
Well, not always. There were several episodes of Dora Explorer that there were actually episodes of Dora Explorer that actually have Swiper succeed in swiping Dora's stuff. Like in the Small Pet episode, the Backpack episode. What else? Oh yeah. He's like he in that Bubba episode. Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, Swiper has always had better eyesight than Dora.
Is strange, especially if this is a video game. Even if we assume that the viewer is supposed to be playing the Dora game and also telling Swiper to scram, it's
I am not playing any Dora games. And I would never tell Swiper to scram. He's my friend. You want to know why he swipes? Because Swiper is poor. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough assets at his house. So what's he do? Instead of paying. All right. You want to know the real reason why Swiper swipes? Well, it's because Swiper is poor. He doesn't. All right, everybody. You want to know the real reason why Swiper swipes? It's because Swiper is poor. Because Swiper doesn't have enough assets as house on Blueberry Hill. So he swipes to keep himself happy. He swipes for stuff so he has enough stuff where he lives. Swiper swiped doors only because he was hungry. That's the real reason why Swiper swipes. Swiper always swipes to keep himself fed and entertained. He doesn't actually steal. The only time he does steal is if it's naughty. I mean, honestly, the only time Swiper ever steals. I mean, honestly, the only stuff that Swiper steals is Dora Bruce's stuff. That's it.
not really a game mechanic that I've seen before. And believe me, I've seen a lot of game mechanics through my years, theorizing over at our sister location, Game Theory. You see, loyal theorists, I believe that there's...
So let's read a real. You know what, everybody? I'm gonna tell you the real reason why Swiper swipes. It's because Swiper is poor. He doesn't have enough items at his house in Blueberry Hill. So he swipes stuff to keep himself better entertained. He swipes stuff so he sees them as valuables.
There's a dark secret hidden under
That's the real
Swiper's
reason why
adorable
Swiper
little
swipes.
pink mask.
Like, why does that fox need to remain anonymous? Who is going to recognize one specific fox?
Oh, we aren't dealing with just one specific fox here, or even a cute anthropomorphized video game one either. No, despite Dora the Explorer appearing to be a harmless educational kids show on the surface,
Believe you me, there are more swipers in the toy universe. There was a skunk named Fifi, a bear named Bumpa, a hyena named Sammy, and a weasel named, I can't remember the weasel's name. Let me look it up. His name is Yin Yin. Now I know. Swiper isn't the only swiping animal out there. There are more swipers in...
I've seen before. And believe me, I've seen a lot of game mechanics through. And believe me, I've seen a lot of game mechanics through my years, theorizing over at our sister location, Game Theory. You see, loyal theorists, I believe that there's a dark secret hidden under Swiper's adorable little thief mask.
Like, why does that fox need to remain anonymous? Who is going to recognize one specific fox?
Oh, we aren't dealing with just one specific fox here, or even a cute anthropomorphized video game one either. No, despite Dora the Explorer appearing to be a harmless educational kids show.
There are other swipers in the toy universe. We have a skunk named Fifi, a bear named Bumpa, a hyena named Sally, and a weasel named Yin Yin. They were in. There's a World Adventure. Those World Adventure isn't even considered an episode at all. It's more a special. Yeah. Because Dora's World Adventure, Dora's World Adventure, there were 4 swipers. Fifi the skunk, Bumpa the bear, Sammy the hyena, and Yin Yin the weasel.
So on the surface, its mischievous fox villain is actually a demonic spirit from HE double hockey sticks. What's more, Dora's swiper no swiping chant is her
You wanna know who's really in hell? Dora. Dora is really a demonic spirit. Alright, everybody. You wanna know the real demonic spirit? Alright, everybody.
kid show on the surface, it's mischievous, like Dora the Explorer appearing to be a heart. Despite Dora the Explorer appearing to be a harmless educational kids show on the surface, its mischievous fox villain is actually a demonic spirit from H.
You want to know the real demonic spirit?
Like Dora the Explorer. Like Dora the Explorer. No, despite Dora the Explorer appearing to be a harmless educational kid show on the surface, its mischievous fox villain is actually a demonic spirit from HE double hockey sticks. What's
You all know who's the real demonic spirit from hell? Dora! Dora is the real demonic spirit. She causes a lot of trouble on camera. She annoys everybody. She won't start mouth. And Dora always horses everybody.
more? Dora's swiper no swiping chant is her desperate kid show on the game one either. No, despite one specific we're at our sister location game. I've seen a lot scram. It's not that the viewer is supposed to be playing the Dora game and also telling Swiper to scram. That's not really a game mechanic that I've seen before.
Yeah, I review about me. Oh, so it can't be that much of a theme.
Believe me, I've seen a lot of game mechanics through my years, theorizing over at our sister location, Game Theory. You see, loyal theorists, I believe that there's a dark secret hidden under Swiper's adorable little thief mask.
Like, why does that fox need to remain anonymous? Who is going to recognize one specific fox?
Oh, we aren't dealing with just one specific fox here, or even a cute anthropomorphized video.
Oh, there are several swipers in 44. That's the swiper himself, but there are other swipers in the 44 universe as well. We have Fifi the Stud from France, Pocahontas from Russia, Sammy the Hyena from Tanzania, and David the Weasel from China.
Video game one either. No, despite Dora the Explorer appearing to be a harmless educational kid show on the surface, its mischievous fox villain is actually a demonic spirit from HE double hockey sticks. What's
You all know who's the real
Fox villain Explorer appearing to be even a cute anthropomorphized video game one either. No, despite Dora the Explorer appearing to be a harmless educational kid show on the surface, its mischievous fox villain is actually a demonic spirit from HE double hockey sticks. What's
You all know who's the real demonic spirit from hell? Dora is. Dora's the real demonic spirit from hell. Swipers is the harmless fox. Swipers is the horse any trouble at all. While Dora, on the other hand, she causes a lot of trouble.
more? Dora's Swiper no swiping chant is her desperate attempt to ward him off, but sadly, Swiper's trapped Dora in a fate worse than death. Oh,
Dora's birthday!
oh yeah! It's gonna be one of those episodes for
I hope that.
fate worse for an attempt to ward him off, but that. Or Dora's Swiper no swiping chant is her desperate attempt to ward him off, but sadly, Swiper's trapped Dora in a fate worse
Dora's
than death.
birthday!
Oh yeah! It's gonna be one of those episodes, friends. Can
I hope that episode exists. This is what Jordan that's for being the worst. If that's what Jordan Sports that's for being the worst shooter zone ever.
you say secret dark lore?
No.
Great, then let's jump to it. To begin, why would I possibly think that Swiper could potentially be a demon? Well, first off, foxes
Swiper
are
is
often
not a
depicted as
demon.
spirits by cultures all over the world. In West Africa, the Dogon people
Swiper
believe
is
that their
always
trickster
fox.
god is a pale fox. Japanese legend tells of shape-shifting fox.
So this wasn't hope from that series for something to do with Jordan Sport. Nothing. Look, there was a parody once. Doesn't mean that Washington's home is associated with Jordan Sport. They're not even real. And I don't even watch Fox's Superman 35 anymore.
Fox spirits called kitsune. In classic Greek mythology, the god of wine and fertility Dionysus often sends a giant fox to devour the children of Thebes. Seems a bit extra for a god of wine and fertility, but then I saw that Dionysus was also the god of insanity, so yeah, it checks out. Anyway, you get the idea. Foxes are commonly associated with magic and extra for a god of wine and fertility, but then I saw that Dionysus was also the god of insanity, so yeah, it checks then I saw that Dionysus was also the god of insanity, so yeah,
And Dora's got plenty of insanity.
checks out. Anyway, you get the idea. Foxes are commonly the god of what? Legend, Africa, the Dogon. Foxes are all. Why would I pop for? Great episodes, friends. Can you say secret dark lore?
No.
Great, then let's jump to it. To begin, why would I possibly think that Swiper could potentially be a demon? Well, first off, foxes are often depicted as spirits by cultures all over the world. In West Africa, the Dogon people believe that their trickster god is a pale fox. Japanese legend tells of shape-shifting fox spirits called kitsune. In classic Greek mythology, the god of wine and fertility Dionysus often sends a giant fox to devour the children of thieves. Seems a bit extra for a god of wine and fertility, but then I saw that Dionysus was also the god of insanity, so
Insanity. Now that's what Dora has plenty of.
this often sends a giant kitsune. In classic Greek mythology, the god of wine and fertility Dionysus often sends a giant fox to devour the children of thieves. Seems a bit extra for a god of wine and fertility, but then I saw that Dionysus was also the god of insanity, so
Insanity. Now that's something Dora has a lot of. Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, the only good thing about the movie is the warning screen. Because foxes do not swim in real life. No, poet zones! No. Poet zones is being annoying, Dad.
check it out. Anyway, you get the idea.
No, poet zones! Bus, it's not what's doing! No, poet zones! Bus, it's not what's doing it for! Stop with the night zone! You know what? I hope you need a store! You know what? I hope you need a store put your events on Dora soon, because Dora deserves it! You know what, everybody? I hope Nia and Star got their ultimate revenge on Dora. Because she deserves it. Because that's what she'll get for having the worst cartoon show I've ever seen in my entire life. Me too, Broad Infinity. Me too.
Foxes are commonly associated with magic and all sorts of folklore, but still, why would I possibly think that could apply to Swiper in this particular instance? Well, Swiper's depiction in the show lines up real well with two types of evil fox spirits in particular, both of which Dora would be aware of based on where the character comes from. While we can't be sure exactly where Dora originates, we can get a pretty good idea thanks to how she was designed. According to Nickelodeon, they didn't want Dora to be from any specific country because they wanted all Latino children to be able to see themselves within the character. So instead, Dora was developed to be pan-Latina, representative of the diversity of Latino cultures across Latin America. And wouldn't you know it, but several Native American and Central American cultures have foxes featured prominently in their folklore, mostly as tricksters, thieves, and bad omens. In one very specific example, the Zil Mayan people of what's
I agree with you, Buffy. That's a classic example of Pablo being heartless.
now modern-day Mexico saw the fox
We know the
as a very evil animal. So, since Dora is meant to be a mishmash of all those varied Latino cultures, she'd likely be aware of these sorts of stories. Additionally, since we know that Dora was created to represent the entire region of Latin America, we can look at the breakdown of religious affiliation across the region.
I agree with you, Buffy. That's a classic example of Pablo being heartless, Dad.
And you can see that 90
Yeah, I agree with you, Buffy. That's a classic example of Pablo being heartless. Heartless Pablo.
50% of Latin Americans are Christian, with 69% of them being Catholic. So,
And Dora is neither of them. Because what does Dora do? See? Hey!
be familiar with how Christianity, and specifically
Yes,
the Catholic
I am.
Church, has viewed foxes in the past. And let's just say that Catholicism has not been kind to these critters. In fact, one of the most famous Catholic depictions of foxes has them literally stealing important items. I suppose you could say that they were swiping them. In the 8th century, author Rudolf of Fulda wrote the book Life of Lioba, chronicling the Roman Catholic saint nun Lioba. The book tells of a nun who once lost the keys to her chapel, convinced that
I know what was. I know who was really afraid of about Swiper. It's supposed to speak a sound. I know what was afraid of. Folks! Now enough of this. Enough of this chief business. Chief has nothing to do with doing for. And I already know what Dora hates about foxes. Is there ha sound? Yes. Foxes do make. Yes. Foxes do make those types of noises in real life. Oh yeah. Dora, Swiper has a surprise for you. What is it, stupid Swiper? Ha! Ha! Dora not scared. She deserved it. Folks! What do you about the something you look to audience for? Nothing!
the lost keys were the work of the devil, the chapel nuns gathered in another building and chanted prayers for their return. Soon after, a fox was found dead outside the front gate of the church, with the keys in its mouth. A fox with stolen keys, you say? Seems familiar.
Ah!
Too late.
Yep,
What?
literally in the first episode of the first season, gate of the church, with the keys in its mouth. Chapel nuns gathered in another building and chanted prayers for their return. Soon after, a fox was found dead outside the front gate of the church, with the keys in its mouth. A fox with stolen keys, you say? Seems familiar.
Ah!
Yep, literally in the first episode of the first season of Dora the Explorer, Swiper steals keys. It's one of the very first things that we see this character do. If that wasn't intentional, well, it is certainly one heck of a coincidence. That's not all. Apparently, old school Christianity saw foxes as even worse than simple thieves. We know this thanks to a 13th century book called the Bestiary, which was basically like a strategy guide for medieval knights to know which animals were going to give them the most experience points.
I know what Nigel wants to be like. Dora wants to be like a certain knight that ruined sleepovers, which I'm not even doing in it.
Thieves. We know this thanks to a 13th century book called the Bestiary, which was basically like a strategy guide for medieval knights to know which animals were going to give them the most experience points.
I know what Nigel wants to be like. Dora wants to be like a certain knight that likes to ruin sleepovers. That's right. Dora wants to be like Mike the Failure. Be a knight and do it wrong.
Christians of the era saw many animals as representative of moral ideals or failures, and the Bestiary was a collection of this sort of knowledge. Cranes, for instance, represented guardians that brought physical goods to the needy. You want to take a guess as to what foxes represented? Literally the devil. Yep, just under very helpful tips like the fox being a deceitful animal that never runs in a straight line, the Bestiary tells us that foxes represent demons that trick and harm those who have wavered in their faith. Basically,
Now this is way better than Dora.
2050, there will be more plastic than fish in the oceans.
Dora!
There are huge parts of Dora's likely upbringing that would have been telling her that Swiper isn't just a sneaky fox trying to steal her stuff. He's a
Yeah,
demonic
Dora is
spirit, perhaps.
twisted. You wanna know why? Because Dora hurts! It hurts! Dora's being ironic.
Even the devil.
God sees way better than Dora and the devil. I bet Dora and the devil are friends of Hera.
Himself come to haunt her as she goes about on her adventures, which makes it interesting to see what Dora does when she and Boots confront Swiper in the show.
Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping.
Dora and Boots, and the viewer, if you choose to participate, extend a hand out and chant the words, Swiper, no swiping. You want to know what that resembles? An exorcism. Now, before you rush down to the comments and say, Matt, that is a bit of a stretch. Trust me, I know it is. But for as ridiculous as it sounds, what Dora's doing here is an exact description of some types of exorcisms. First of all, according to Of Exorcisms and Certain Supplications, which was written by the Vatican and approved by the Pope, exorcists are instructed to extend their hands out towards the possessed person or demon during the ritual. From there, they're told to use a spiritual incantation, basically chanting a rhythmic word or phrase over and over to force the spirits to behave. Finally, using Swiper's name is also a practice specifically used in exorcisms. According to Cesar Truqui, an exorcist for the Catholic Church of Switzerland, quote, naming something or knowing its name means having power over that thing. So by specifically calling out Swiper, Dora is giving herself power over him. And most importantly of all, like I mentioned earlier, this actually works for some reason. It always gets Swiper to go away. Okay, so that's a lot of evidence pointing to Swiper being some sort of demonic spirit, but why? What does it matter if Swiper is some sort of supernatural, otherworldly entity if it's all happening inside of a video game? The whole exorcism chanting as a game mechanic still doesn't make a ton of sense, and something like just getting the player to click on Swiper to stop him would work a lot better. And it's not like we see a mic setup on the computer inside the show. The vocal input of the player saying Swiper no swiping just wouldn't work with what we've seen. All around, this chanting mechanic just seems like a weird thing to program into your game, unless of course it wasn't programmed, and Swiper is an actual literal spirit that's possessing the computer. Then it all starts to make sense. The chanting, the lack of a microphone to hear that chanting, and the chanting working to scare Swiper away. But then all of this raises a whole bunch of other questions, like why would Swiper be bothering us if he's actually a spirit? I'm sure a trickster demon would have better things to do than make it a bit harder for a kid playing a point-and-click adventure game to beat a level, right? Well, what if it's not us harder for a kid playing a point-and-click adventure game to beat a level, right? Well, what if it's not us, the viewer, that Swiper's trying to mess with? What if his target is actually Dora? Now, that wouldn't make a ton of sense if she were just some character in a video game, but I don't think she
Now
is
that I
just some
realize,
character in a video
also,
game. I suspect that Dora is actually a real person, someone who is sucked into the video game, trapped by Swiper as he torments her over and over again, episode after episode after episode. At first blush, that might seem ridiculous, but the evidence is actually there when you look. Right from the very beginning of each episode, in the intro, we see clues that Dora might not actually be a part of the game. In the first few seasons, Dora the Explorer opens with a brief live-action segment, entering a house, walking
That
up to
never
a computer,
appears
and starting to play the Dora
again
the
after
Explorer
season
game.
3.
But something seems off when you actually think about what's inside of this room.
What?
Sure,
We
we have
have
a lot
to
of
see
stuff
that
that you
live
expect.
action
Some
room.
sports balls, a teddy bear, a chain of those paper rings that everyone makes in elementary school. And at the desk, we can see figurines of both Swiper and Boots, the main animal characters from the game. So we know that this Dora the Explorer game exists in the world enough so that there's merch to buy. But you ever notice what isn't in the room? Merch of Dora herself. You know, the flagship character of both the game and the show, all about playing that game. The only thing that even comes close to resembling Dora in the room is this child's drawing that, I guess, kind
Oh no, it's that evil turkey dad. I know that's supposed to resemble a smiley face. But some of the episode screenshots made a hard to decipher. So that's why I thought it was an evil turkey.
it resembles her. Either way, it seems strange that whoever lives
There's
here is
that
a big enough
weird
fan of Dora
dad.
to leave it running on. Either resembling Dora in the room is this child's drawing that, I guess, kind of resembles her. Either way, it seems Dora in the room is this child's drawing that, I guess.
Wait. Is that... Are those scissors? I use them in the room. That's a good thing.
Only thing that even comes close to resembling Dora in the
But
room is
still, I can't believe there are actually scissors in some sort of room I can't even recognize. At least though I use them on camera, that's a good thing.
child's drawing that I guess kind of resembles her. Close to resembling Dora in the room is this child's drawing that I guess kind of resembles her. Either way, it seems
There's
strange
definitely
that
Sarah,
whoever
Dad.
lives here is a big enough, I guess, kind of resembles her. Either way,
There's
it seems
definitely
strange
Sarah,
that
Dad.
whoever lives here is a big enough fan of Dora to leave it running on their computer so they can decide to run into the room and play it at
That's a
any
card,
moment, but then to not have any merch of the main character. Speaking of, that is also a weird detail here, right? No one in the room, it's deserted, and yet the computer was left on with the Dora game booted up, ready to play. What if what we're walking into with the intro here is the direct aftermath of Dora being sucked into the computer, forced to play the game in person for the amusement of a certain little fox demon? Now,
Well,
those
I'm
details
not
about the intro
playing
might
that
seem
game.
circumstantial on their own, but the weirdness only continues when you start to
I
consider
never
the
even
ending
said that
credits.
PCC
Early on in the
anyway,
beginning of the show, a lot
because
of
it
Dora
doesn't
the
even
Explorer's endings
exist.
featured small little mini games while the credits rolled. The most common of these was character find, which is pretty much
Yeah. But they thought this ended after season 5.
exactly what it says on the tin. A list of characters would pop up, and the computer cursor would pick one, and then they would hide, poking their head out as the cursor tried to find them. Now,
Well,
the characters that
they're
pop
fine
up for
on
this
the
are
show.
largely what you'd expect.
Swiper
Main characters
on the
like
right
Susan
side,
Swiper, recurring characters like
Stanley,
Benny and
and
Matt,
Social
even
Circus.
characters who only guest star, like Wizzle. And yet, across the 88 times that this minigame pops
There
up,
was also Baby Breakfast in the episode Rescue, Rescue, Rescue. Of course, with Isa saying a certain phrase, and maybe someone doing wow, wow!
can you guess who isn't chosen? Dora. Despite supposedly being the starring character in the game, she's not chosen once for the character find minigame. Heck, though she appears on the logo for the select screen, I think you could argue that she was never even an option to begin with. And it's not like the character find is against choosing human characters either. It had no problem choosing Santa Claus in the episode where he guest starred. Freaking Santa Claus was chosen before Dora. It's a strange decision that starts to make sense when you consider that Dora isn't a character inside the game. She was never chosen because she shouldn't exist in this world. The game wasn't programmed to have her selectable as an option. But wait, I hear you saying, what about that live-action Dora movie that came out a few years ago, Dora and the Lost City of Gold? It was way better than it had any right to be. And correct you are, random commenter, it was really solid. But I understand what you're trying to get at here. The beginning of Dora and the Lost City of Gold really frames a lot of the fantastical adventure Dora goes on as just happening inside of her head. So that means that our deep
Spruce, Work by HR Block is a new kind of mobile banking app. With no credit check, sign-up fees, monthly fees, or a minimum balance requirement.
demon spirit fox in a video game theory can't be right, right? Wrong. Go watch that movie again, because if anything, it solidifies that Dora is a real person trapped inside of a video game. Right near the beginning, Dora straight up breaks the fourth wall, saying,
Can you see delicioso?
No!
yeah, Dora can clearly see us, the audience, and yet no one else can. She is aware that she's in a game, despite everyone else trying to convince her that she's not. Almost like it's a fox demon gaslighting her.
Chill right up.
Monkeys can swing and climb and talk to us. No, they can't. Bruce isn't talking to you.
Oh, but he can.
You're not a kid, but you're not a grown-up either. Any
Why does he have a man's voice?
is possible.
And he's not the only animal who does either. Swiper's in this movie tormenting Dora and her friends, and guess what? He can talk too.
Swiper at the ready. Swiper, yes, Swiper.
I agree with you, Swiper. Swiper, yes, swipe it! Swiper, yes, swipe it! Swiper, yes, swipe it! What do I say? Swiper, keep on swiping!
Make no mistake, this movie is still existing inside the realm of the Dora video game. I mean, there are a ton of video game elements here. Yeah, and that bag holds is here. Ton of video game elements here. Ton of video game elements here.
Back that voice sounds different.
Yeah, and that bag holds way more stuff than it should. A generator, a radio, food supplies, a hammock, a giant knife. To the
Holy
point that
crap,
this thing
Zach.
has to be bigger on the inside than the outside, just like a video game inventory. And it's not just cool video gamey items either. Multiple times throughout the film, Dora does stuff that should get a normal person killed, like jumping into a ravine with minimal injuries, or sliding under a plane's moving propeller blade, or rolling down a hill inside of a tree trunk. She also solves puzzles in order to progress and disarms booby traps in order to get treasure. The gang even takes part in what basically amounts to some quick time events to avoid spikes.
I thought it was just a video game thing.
You're right, forgettable side character. It's just the video game from Dora's perspective, inside the computer. We're just seeing everything through her eyes. That's why everything looks so realistic. And the extra bit of proof, the cherry on top, the final nail in the coffin, there's a moment where the illusion completely shatters. About halfway through the movie, Dora and her friends stumble upon a field of flowers that spray hallucinogenic spores in their face, beginning a sequence that's done in the style of a classic Dora cartoon. And during this sequence, she straight up jumps off a cliff and then reappears again at the very top, just like she respawned after dying. This, my friends, is the mask slipping from the demonic computer program, revealing to Dora what's really going on here. She is a real person trapped in an old point-and-click video cartoon. And during this in their fate, the movie, Dora and her friends stumble upon a field of flowers that spray hallucinogenic spores in their face, beginning a sequence that's done in the style of a classic Dora cartoon. And during this sequence, she straight up jumps off a cliff and then reappears again at the very top, just like she respawned after dying. This, my friends, is the mask slipping from the demonic computer program, revealing to Dora what's really going on here. She is a real person trapped in an old point-and-click video game. Really, we should have known something was fishy from the movie right at the beginning. What do we see right at the beginning of Dora and the Lost City of Gold? Fox propaganda. Swiper trying to gaslight us, the audience, just like he's gaslighting her. Literally, the first thing that happens in the movie is a helpful, totally true PSA from the Fox Council of the Americas, which tells us this.
Everything you're about to see is true, except that foxes don't swipe. That is a hurtful stereotype.
Oh yeah? Well, I'd say that trapping a kid inside of a video game and tormenting her for years is just a wee bit more hurtful, Swiper. But hey, you know, you don't have to be trapped inside of a video game tormented by a fox demon to be completely immersed inside of something. Sometimes you just want to get lost in listening to a good movie or your favorite music. I have to listen to a lot of content while doing research for this show. Interviews, audiobooks, podcasts, you name it, I am listening to it. And our sponsor for today's episode, Raycon's Everyday Earbuds, are the best way to do that. To go. Something I hate about other earbuds is that they never quite seem to fit my ear right. They always fall out at the worst times, and then I have to stop, I have to find them, and then I have to hope that they're not too gross to stick back in my ear. But Raycon's earbuds have these awesome little joysticks that are super optimized to fit in your ear. So not only are
Oh, everybody! Now we have another doing sport theory, and the last sport theory of Dobby in the ad. Oh no, there's a stupid meme on the dad. Stop it, Dora! You're completely messed up! And no, nobody's helping you! That's what you get for being the most annoying student handler I've ever seen in my entire life! I just told you I'm not helping you! Nobody will ever help you, Dora, failure!
Brinko Devore, Amina Junaid, Pretty Girl Queen Kiki, Tilly the Fish, and Lynn Gomez. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I love you all very dearly. Let's get on to the video. So it's going to be a relatively shorter video this time. It's going to be about Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, I know who you are, Dora. Stop simply obvious already.
Under the friggin' rock, because Dora the Explorer is this very popular kids TV show that you probably grew up with, and if you didn't, how? But basically, it follows around this like 7-year-old girl who later turns 8 and under the freaking rock, because Dora the Explorer is this very popular kids TV show that you probably grew up with, and if you didn't,
I already grew up with her.
but
And what's
basically, it
pretty?
follows around this like
Everybody knows who Dora the
7-year-old
Explorer is!
in like season 5 or something, and she teaches the world Spanish.
I am not saying Aubrey.
revolves around this like 7-year-old girl who later turns 8 in like season 5 or something, and she teaches the world Spanish.
And you say, Aubrey,
No!
Other parts of the country she
Not
teaches
saying
other
Aubrey,
languages, so
see
maybe
that
she's
money.
Latina, but now she's mainly known as a meme, basically. But I want to figure out if there's more to the show than meets the eye. And honestly, I found so many things. One, it's a really old show. Well, really old. It came out in the 2000s, I believe. But now
came out
I guess
on
it's really
2000.
old. It's like 2
It was the
decades
first
old or
time in
so.
junior
It's
show.
an older show, and so of course there's going to be a lot of theories on the show, kind of like The Simpsons. And if you want a video on The Simpsons, let me know. I
Simpsons
love
is
it.
way better than 44.
Do you think there wouldn't be anything to uncover based on the simplicity of every single episode? It's basically the same thing. There's a dilemma, something has to be fixed, something needs to be returned, I don't know, whatever. They go on a journey, they call it a map, they call it backpack, they sing the same songs every time, and they get to their destination, and they're like, we did it, lo hicimos, yeah. But here are some theories. I think some episode it's basically the same thing. There's a dilemma, something has to be fixed, something needs to be returned, I don't know, whatever. They go on a journey, they call it a map, they come of every single episode, it's basically the same thing. But you think there wouldn't be anything to uncover based on the simplicity of every single episode? It's basically the same thing. There's
Yeah,
a dilemma,
and it's
something
annoying.
fixed,
Oh,
something
no.
needs to be returned, I don't know. Same thing to uncover based on the simplicity of every single episode. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah,
There's a
and
dilemma,
that's
something
annoying. And
fixed, something needs to be returned. Be anything to uncover based on the simplicity of every single episode. It's basically the same thing.
yes, and that's annoying and annoying very quickly.
Whatever, they go on a journey, they call it map, they call it backpack, they sing the same songs every time, and they get to their destination, and they're like, we did it, lo hicimos, yeah. But here are some theories I came upon, and I think they're worth knowing. Like, Laura has dementia. She doesn't, for some reason, it's on and they're like, we did it, lo hicimos. Safety thing to make. But you think there wouldn't be anything to uncover based on the simplicity of every single episode? It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, and it's annoying and annoying very quickly.
Whatever, they go on a journey, they call it a map, they call it a backpack, they sing the same songs every time, and they get to their destination, and they're like, we did it, lo hicimos, yeah.
Well,
Here
you
are
are
some
getting
theories
to
I
it.
came upon, and I think they're worth knowing. Like, Laura has dementia. She doesn't. For some reason, Dora has dementia. She doesn't realize how good of her life is. So people think she has dementia. But
Dora
other people
doesn't
believe
have
she has
dementia.
schizophrenia because she believes that her backpack talks to her and the map talks to her. And she has a friend that's a monkey who wears boots and talks.
What do we do, Dora? What do we do?
Stop
Makes
it,
sense,
Boo.
Dora. But other people believe she's a witch. I don't know about that one.
Dora's a
My
real
personal
witch.
favorite, and the one that makes them
What do we do, Dora? What?
who wears boots and talks. Talks to her, and the map talks to her, and she has a friend that's a monkey who wears. I realize how repetitive her life is. So people think she has dementia, but other people believe she has schizophrenia because she believes that her backpack talks to her and the map talks to her, and she has a friend that's a monkey who wears boots and talks.
What do we do, Dora? What do we do?
Stop
Makes
it,
sense,
Boo.
Dora. But other people
Because
believe
you
she's a
guys will be
witch.
trapped out
I don't know.
forever.
But my personal favorite, and the one that makes the most sense to me, is that a lot of people believe that Dora the series is actually a video game. And why do
We
people
already
think
know
that?
it's a video
Well, it's pretty
game.
obvious,
Because
honestly. One,
from
her name
season
is
one
Dora,
through,
and in Spanish,
The
computer
design
is
basically put it to a computer.
Dora. And honestly, this whole series
And
kind of feels like a game, because it's
Well,
very
it's supposed to be a
interactive.
PC
Dora's always
game.
asking you,
Because
do
the
you
original
see
Remember
Do
green
you
computer?
see the mountain? Where is the ocean? Can you say arriba?
Do you see Swiper?
No!
You know, things like that. And throughout this whole quest, which is the ocean, can you say arriba?
Do you see Swiper?
He's in the
You know, things
bush.
like that. And throughout this whole quest, which is what it is, you know, things like that. And throughout
George
this
is
whole
someone
quest,
stupidly.
which is what it is, it's like one of those games that have a story
Oh,
and
no.
you go quest, which
Oh,
is
no.
what it is, it's like one of those games
Oh,
that
no,
have a
Stacy.
story and you go on a quest. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat, but not Mortal. Forget I said that.
Who is actually is the CEO of Owen Superstore?
It's not Mortal Kombat at all. But you are given only a few tools that the backpack gives to you. I mean, you have a map, sort of like a quest, sort of like a journey, sort of like a game. The biggest proof of all is that there is a literal mouse, not the rat mouse, the computer mouse. Like, you can see it click on things all the time. So honestly, I think this is the theory that is most probable. Regarding that, I wanted to take it a step further. Have you guys heard of the simulation theory?
Our computer powers are record, right? We create simulations of worlds. Imagine a day where you can simulate a world so perfect that you can recreate every single neurosynaptic thought you could have, but now you're in the simulation of the computer.
Talking about in real life, people actually think that we are living in a simulation. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's pretty popular, so if you haven't heard about it, then again, you're living under a rock. But basically, if you haven't heard about it, no judgment, but they believe there's some sort of computer or whatever it is that can be intelligent enough to recreate life. And there's really no way for us to know if we are in a freaking simulation or not. Like, someone's controlling our life, someone's putting these obstacles in our life, they're playing with us, kind of like the Sims game.
Sick of all the ads? Like this one? Just get to adskiller.com. Click on Activate Now.
I think, I don't know, I've never played The Sims. This is a pretty popular theory that a lot of theorists, like conspiracy theorists, have theorized about. But this is one of those theories that are not just like the governments are full of lizards type thing. Some scientists believe this as well, which is rather fascinating. Some people have come out and said that there are glitches that can be seen all over the place. Some people claim that these are glitches, and that's proof that we are in a simulation because video games have glitches. Do I believe we're living in a simulation?
We are not living in a simulation.
I choose not to believe it because that's kind of scary. I don't want to believe we're in a simulation. It's crazy to think about, but I don't believe it. Relating that to Dora, however, what if Dora the Explorer is trying to simulate that type of world where Dora
I'm
does
not
live
playing
in a
Dora's
simulation?
PC
Something to prove this is in the very first season, the intro starts with walking into double doors in a house that is filled with orange and green accents, I believe, and it's like the real world. It's like this world. Then the camera
We all
pans
know
towards
it's
the
the real
computer
world.
and it goes into the world of Dora. I mean, I think that does prove that Dora is in a computer, in a video game, or some sort of thing, some sort of simulation, apart from the real world. There is someone clearly recording this. Someone is walking in with a camera through these doors, recording the room
I really don't know
into the
who
computer.
wanted it.
That's kind of disturbing now that I think about it. Why would the creators want this in the show? What is this room? Why do I have to view this room into the computer? That's strange. Is someone documenting something? Is this some sort of experiment? Honestly, if we look later on into the season and we look inside the house of Dora, there are orange and green accents all around, kind of like that room. What if this room is in Dora's house? What if Dora was
Not
a real
Dora's house.
live person? What if Dora
I
is
said
stuck in a
elsewhere.
simulation?
This
What if
computer.
this is an experiment and whoever
There
is
are no
recording
blinds,
this room is
evil
the person
cookies. There are no free
experimenting
stairs.
fully, especially Dora. Perhaps these are the first experiments to the simulation. Throughout the whole show, she never really gets mad. She gets seemingly worried, but never mad. She's
she
always
did get mad
smiling,
a couple of
almost
early
as if
episodes.
she's forced to simulate a specific feeling. Kind of like when the bell dam forces the other Wybie to smile. Maybe Dora is being forced to smile. But why would someone do this? Why would anybody be so cruel as to put a child in a simulation where she's trapped and forever controlled? Think about it. What runs the world? What is the one thing that everybody wants? Money.
I don't
People
really know.
just care about money. And if you think that's absurd, think again, because for many, many years, scientists have used people against their will to experiment on them. Not just people, animals as well. We live in a cruel world, and maybe Dora is just one of those experiments. Maybe she's just forced to be in that world forever. That is very depressing. Oh my god. I didn't think this video was going to be that depressing. Anyways, I love you. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do anything you can so we can get this video picked up by the algorithm. I love you so much, so dearly. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm so serious. I hope you have a wonderful day. You live up? Yeah.
Now how about Caillou now?
Caillou.
Boy,
You either
crap,
really
I
like him or hate him.
I
Let me know in
hate
the comments
it.
below, are you guys
I
team
really hate
Caillou or
Caillou.
team any other show, please? Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Caillou urban legends. For those of you who haven't seen the show, Caillou is about a bald child named Caillou and the adventures he goes on daily. Starting off this countdown, we have the terminal cancer.
Caillou
This
does
has to be
not
the
have
most famous
cancer.
Caillou urban legend of all time. It's the fact that Caillou suffers from terminal cancer. I mean, I certainly believed it as a kid. This theory began when people noticed that all his family members had full, luscious locks, but Caillou is completely bald. Therefore, they believe that Caillou has cancer and lost his hair due to the treatment. They also use the theory to explain Caillou's bratty behavior. His parents let him whine and complain because they are too upset to tell him no, since he doesn't have a lot of time left. People think that the creators made Caillou purposely bald so that kids that are going through cancer can relate to the character. But this is just a legend, and I have the real reason why he's bald. Turns out that in the original book for Caillou, he was super young, so he didn't have hair yet. Therefore, he was illustrated without having any. Then, when they made the cartoon show, they cartoon Caillou had locks, but Caillou is convinced that all his family members had full, luscious locks, but Caillou
Yeah,
is
I
completely
agree with you,
bald.
Buffy. Caillou.
That Caillou has cancer and lost his hair due to the treatment.
Caillou does not have cancer.
I mean, I certainly believed it as a kid. This theory began when people noticed that all his family members had full, luscious locks, but Caillou is completely bald. Therefore, they believe that Caillou has cancer and lost his hair due to the treatment.
He
They
does
also
not have
use this theory to explain
cancer.
Caillou's bratty behavior. His parents let him whine and complain because they are too upset to tell him
He has
no,
a bratty
since he
behavior
doesn't
because
have a
he
lot of
likes
time left.
being bratty.
People think that the creators made
He
Caillou
has bratty behavior because Caillou is evil.
can relate to the character. But this is just a legend, and I have the real reason why he's bald. Turns
That's like
out that
Leo.
in the original book of Caillou, he was
Now because he's dead, what about all the Caillou theories?
Caillou. You either really like him or hate him. Let me know in the comments below, are you guys team Caillou or team any other show, please? Caillou. You either really like Caillou.
What
You
crap
either
I
really
lose?
like him or hate him.
I
Let
hate
me know in the
him.
comments below, are
Really
you
hate
guys
him.
team Caillou or team any other show, please?
I'm
Hey everyone,
super
what's up?
kitty.
Welcome back to Most
I'm
Amazing Top
a
10.
team
I'm your host,
Big Old
Lindsay,
Naughty.
and today I'm bringing
I'm
you the
a
top
team
10
Sesame
scary
Street.
Caillou urban legends. For those of you who
And
haven't seen the show, Caillou is about a bald
And I'm a
child
team
named
Black.
Caillou and the adventures he goes on.
No, I'm not hard about spoiled rats. I'm hard about the doll rats.
Daily. Starting off this
Because
countdown, we have the
Rats
terminal
dolls do not
cancer.
act like
Now,
actual
this has to
rats.
be the most
They act like
famous
mature
Caillou urban
women.
legend of all time. It's the fact that Caillou mean, I
Caillou not have
certainly believe
cancer.
those kids.
He has
This very
cancer
began
because
when people noticed
the
that all his
numbers
family members
want him
had
to be
full
like that.
upper locks, but Caillou is completely bald. Therefore, they believe that Caillou has cancer and lost his hair due to
Caillou does
treatment.
not have
They
cancer.
also use the theory to explain Caillou's bratty behavior. His parents
Caillou has
let him
bratty
lie and
behavior
complain
because
because
he
they
is
are too upset to
evil.
tell him no. He doesn't have a lot
Caillou's
of
nothing
friends.
but a bright
People think
evil
that the
sir.
creators made Caillou purposely bald so that kids that are going through cancer can relate to the character. But
Nobody
this
wants
is
to
just
like
the
the crap
legend.
out of
There
you.
are real reasons why he's bald. Turns out that in the original book of Caillou, he was super young, so he didn't have hair yet. Therefore, he was illustrated without having any. Then when they made the cartoon show, they made Caillou older and gave him hair, but then this made him unrecognizable. So they decided to keep him bald so that he still looked like the same character. They also think that this is a way to show that being different is okay. Moving on to number 9, we have the adopted sister. This next urban legend surrounds the
Rosie was
idea
never
that Caillou's
adopted.
little sister Rosie is actually adopted. The
Of
legend states that
course.
Caillou's parents ended up adopting Rosie because
Rosie.
they were scared that if they had another kid, then they could also. And we have the adopted sister. This next
Rosie
urban
was
legend
never
surrounds the
adopted.
idea that Caillou's little sister Rosie is actually adopted. The
Of
legend states
course.
that Caillou's
Rosie.
parents ended up adopting Rosie
The
because
one who
they
was
were
afraid
scared
of
that if they had
crowds
another
for no
kid,
apparent
then they could
reason.
also be born with terminal cancer. They couldn't bear the idea of losing 2 of their
And of
kids,
course,
so
Rosie
they
wanted
decided
something
to
to be
adopt
big
instead.
house for the
This
rest of her
also
entire
helps
life.
explain why Rosie is seen with red hair, although no one in her family has red hair. It's because she's adopted and
Yeah,
has
I
a
agree with
completely
you, Buffy.
different genetic
No.
makeup. Or it could just
Oh
be that
no.
it's because she's adopted and has a
Oh
completely different
no.
genetic
It's
makeup.
not
Or it
seen
could
it
just be that
yet.
creators need her to have red hair to match her name.
Yeah, I agree with you, Buffy. No.
In our 8th spot, we have the
He
Lost
was fighting with
episode.
it. Had
Of
orange
course,
hair
we're
like Rosie.
probably expecting a Lost episode.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
This
let's
is
say
higher.
one day a man's son was watching and happened to her name, Rosie. Probably more likely. In our 8th spot, we have the Lost episode. Of course, you were probably expecting a Lost episode to be on this list. So, legend goes that one day a man's son was watching an episode of Caillou. That just doesn't exist. This man's son was 4 years old, and on the way to daycare one morning, they were talking about Caillou. That's when his son said, "I wish I could still watch Caillou." The dad asked why, and he said, because he was too scared to watch it. Apparently, his son watched an episode where he claims the dad turned red to Caillou. The dad asked why, and he said, because he was too scared to watch it. Apparently, his
That's
son
why I never
watched
watched
an
Caillou
episode where he
anyway.
claims the dad turned red partway through.
Apparently
and
there was a lost
stopped.
episode where
And
Caillou shot what he
we
had.
have the Lost episode. Of course, you were probably expecting a Lost episode to be on this list. So, legend goes that one day a man's son was watching an episode of Caillou. That just doesn't exist. This man's son was 4 years old, and on the way to daycare one morning, they were talking about Caillou. That's when his son said, "I wish I could still watch Caillou." The dad asked why, and he said, because he was too scared to watch it. Apparently, his son watched an episode
Yeah.
where he claims the dad turned still watch Caillou, talking about Caillou. And son was watching an episode of Caillou. Episode, probably more likely. In our 8th spot, we have the Lost episode. Of course, you were probably expecting a Lost episode to be on this list. So, legend goes that one day a man's son was watching an episode of Caillou. That just doesn't exist. This man's son was 4 years old, and on the way to daycare one morning, they were talking about Caillou. That's when his son said, "I wish I could still watch Caillou." The dad asked why, and he said, because he was too scared to watch it.
Honestly, I have
watched an
people
episode
that
where he
hit
claims
that
the
to watch
dad
every old
turned
Caillou.
red partway through and
Caillou
stopped
really is
speaking.
scary.
He claims the dad turned red partway through
Ah.
and just stopped speaking. He said that Caillou and the other characters were normal colors.
I
but
don't
every
like
time
Caillou's
the dad
style of
appeared, he
angry.
was red
Because
and
you
not
see
speaking.
Caillou's
He also
right
said there was
behavior.
a scene where the dad was spitting drool into the toilet, and then he was apparently not
Ew.
wearing any clothes. He also was spitting drool into the toilet, and then
Ew,
he was apparently
that's
not wearing any clothes.
disgusting.
He also states that at one point his dad was just making weird noises. Okay, that's not
What
comforting
weird
at all.
noises?
Let's hope that's not a real episode. Moving on to number 7, we have Caillou's baldness. Of course, there isn't just one.
We already know why he's bald. Because the numbers want him to be
body. Basically, it's an autoimmune disease where the immune system mistakenly attacks your hair follicles, which leads to their destruction and they can't produce hair. So people think that this is the case for Caillou. Making our way down the list at number 6, we have the dark past. This urban legend states that Caillou is bald because the original artist of Caillou had a child with cancer. The artist decided that he would make Caillou bald as a tribute to his child who lost their hair from their cancer treatment. He wanted his child to feel more accepted and hoped that Caillou would make her feel like she wasn't alone. That's actually really sweet, but sadly it's just a legend and not true. Here now at our 5th and halfway mark with Caillou is dead. Legend goes
Now that is true.
Caillou is that's actually really sweet, but sadly it's just a legend and not true. Here now at our 5th and halfway mark with Caillou is dead.
Now that is
Caillou
true.
is dead. Everything we see in
That's
the show
definitely
is
true.
the lasting memories of him. In fact, the female narrator that we hear every episode is theorized to be the grandmother of Caillou. She is sharing the stories of him with other children in order to keep the memory of her grandson alive. To support this legend, the narrator has been quoted saying, "This story happened when Caillou was 3," making it seem like he indeed was real. Also, it highlights that it is a story, one that she witnessed and is retelling to others. Other people believe that the narrator is actually Caillou's sister Rosie. She's now all grown up and is sharing the stories of her brother to her young kids.
I know who the real
In
person
fact, the
was.
female narrator
Her
that we
name was
hear every
Clarice
episode is
Spaghetti.
theorized to be the grandmother of Caillou, dead and halfway deep, but sadly it's just a legend and not true. Here now at our 5th and halfway mark with Caillou is dead.
Now that is
Caillou
true.
is dead.
Now that is
Everything we see in the
definitely
show is
true.
just the lasting
Because
memories
Sophia
of him.
Caillou's
In
already
fact, the
dead.
female narrator that we hear every episode is theorized to be the grandmother of Caillou. She is sharing the stories of him with other children in order to keep the memory of her grandson alive. To support this legend, the narrator has been quoted saying, "This story happened when Caillou was 3."
No, he
Making
happened.
it seem like he indeed was real. Also, it highlights that it is a story, one that she witnessed and is retelling to others. Other people believe that the narrator is actually Caillou's sister Rosie. She's
It's
now
not
all grown up and is
Rosie.
sharing the stories of her brother to her young kids. But that just means that they didn't bother to filter out any of the details when sharing these stories, because they really emphasize how whiny and bratty he is. And of course, we have the banned episodes. Caillou is another one of those shows that has banned episodes. That's right, episodes, plural. There's not just one,
Stop it,
but
dummy.
multiple
I hope
references
he's a
to
bus.
emphasize how
It's dummy.
whiny and bratty he is. And of course, we have the banned episodes. Caillou is another one of those shows that
Like
has
for
banned
example,
episodes. That's
Caillou.
right, episodes, plural. There's not just one, but multiple supposed banned episodes. The first one is titled Rosie has banned episodes. That's right, episodes, whiny and bratty he is. And of course, we have the banned episodes. Caillou is another one of those shows that has sharing these stories, because they really emphasize how whiny and bratty he is. And of course, we have the banned episodes.
We already know
Caillou is
who
another one of
the
those shows that has sharing these stories, because they really emphasize how whiny and bratty he is. And of course, we have the banned episodes.
We already know
Caillou
who
is
the bad
another one of
episodes
those shows
are.
that has
Big one
banned
for Caillou.
episodes.
Caillou
That's
goes
right,
to circus.
episodes, plural. There's not just one, but
Caillou goes around the
multiple
clock.
supposed banned episodes. The first one is titled
Caillou-
Rosie Bothers Caillou.
Caillou gets
In
older
this
and
episode,
Cyrus.
apparently Caillou badmouths Carl. There's not just one,
There's also Caillou Crossword.
episodes, plural. There's not just one, but multiple supposed banned episodes. The first one is titled Rosie Bothers Caillou. In this episode, apparently Caillou badmouths his mom, shoves Rosie out of his room, and then hits Rosie on the head with a book. Turns out Caillou
Wait,
is titled Rosie
what?
Bothers Caillou. In this episode, apparently Caillou badmouths his mom, shoves Rosie out of his room, and then hits Rosie on the head with a book. Turns out Caillou didn't actually hit his sister with the book as the legend claims. But it is a real episode where Caillou does talk back to his mom, and that does not surprise me. Another episode that was banned is one where apparently Caillou gets upset with Rosie and Envy. But turns out, first of all, there's not just one, but multiple banned episodes. Caillou and bratty he is. And of course, we have the banned
Oh, man,
grabs
I'm
his
so.
mom, shoves Rosie out of his room, and then hits Rosie on the head with a book.
Wait.
Didn't actually
What?
hit his sister with the book as the legend claims. But it is a real episode where Caillou does talk back to his mom, and that does not surprise me.
Yeah.
This episode that was
Caillou
banned is
is
one where
evil.
Caillou gets upset with Rosie and ends up shaving off her hair.
Wait.
Jealous of
What?
If he can't have hair, then she can't have any hair either.
Did this actually happen?
But
Caillou
again, this
saved
didn't
Rosie's-
actually happen.
Caillou saved Rosie's hair.
Were indeed banned from PBS. In our first spot, we have the Caillou syndrome. This is an urban legend that states that watching too much Caillou can cause kids to develop the Caillou syndrome.
Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, Caillou celebrating his mom's that time. Caillou, you really are evil.
Banned from PBS. In our first spot, we have
And clearly Spaghetti is apparently the grandmother of Bar Spaghetti. Who's we not Urban's friend.
the Caillou syndrome.
Apparently when she was little, and we just saw her as a role model. I'm surprised it's giving her self personality.
We have the Caillou syndrome. This is an urban legend that states that watching too much Caillou can cause kids to develop the Caillou syndrome, which basically causes kids to be more defiant, demanding, and naughty. It is said that kids watching a lot of Caillou have been seen throwing themselves on the floor, kicking and screaming. In the show, Caillou is very, very, very whiny, and often has temper tantrums when he doesn't get his way.
And they are annoying.
Yells, growing up is not so tough, except when I've had enough.
This
It is
is
said
what
that
he
young
knows.
kids will then
Cereal corn. Silly. Whoa.
One other reported
Annoying, right?
She claims that after watching only one episode of Caillou, her 3-year-old daughter would start using phrases like, I don't want to, and no, not now. She was also becoming more disobedient. So what kids will then emulate his behavior, causing good kids to then behave poorly. In fact, one mother reported that this is true. She claims that after watching only one episode of Caillou, her 3-year-old daughter would start using phrases like, I don't want to, and no, not now. She was also
And
becoming
Rita has
more
always been
disobedient.
wanting some
Another
center.
mother claims that her daughter picks up. This is true. She's enough, throws a fit, and yells, growing up is not so tough, except when I've had enough. It is said that young kids will then emulate his behavior, causing good kids to then behave poorly. In fact, one mother reported that this is true. She claims that after watching only one episode of Caillou, her 3-year-old daughter would start using phrases like, I don't want to, and no, not now. She was also becoming more disobedient.
Apparently, Rita sees Caillou as a role model.
But I want it now from him. In the show,
Watched Caillou ever since he was a baby.
There's no pushbacks from his parents.
And even then, he's always been quiet and self-centered.
In our second spot, we have the coma.
Apparently, Rita's best friend is Bar Spaghetti.
Daddy is in a coma. Legend goes that Caillou was in
There,
an accident when he was 4 years old.
Who's there and Caillou's granddaughter.
He has been in a coma without any repercussions. In our second spot, we have the coma. It's quite sad, but apparently there's a legend out there that Caillou is in a coma. Legend goes that Caillou was in an accident when he was 4 years old that left him in a coma. He has been in a coma for decades, but his parents refused to give up on him. As a result, each day his mom visits him and tells him a story from his childhood. So the female narrative that we hear is
Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, I hate both Comical, Caillou, and Dora.
kicking and screaming. And then,
Of course, the Caillou
however,
syndrome.
7 episodes of Caillou were indeed banned from PBS. In our third spot, we have the Caillou syndrome. This is an urban legend that states that
Apparently, Rita Urban sees Caillou as a role model.
Caillou syndrome.
She's been watching Caillou ever since he was a baby.
More defiant, demanding, and naughty.
And even then, Rita has always been whiny and self-centered. It's not surprising, given that her best friend is Bar Spaghetti,
And also has temper tantrums when he
who's the
doesn't
granddaughter of Caillou's narrator.
Caillou throws a fit and yells, growing up is not so tough, except when I've had
Whiny
enough.
Rita
It is
Urban.
said that young
Whiny,
kids will
whiny,
then
whiny
emulate
Rita
his
Urban.
behavior, causing good kids to then behave poorly. In fact, one mother reported that this is true. She claims that after watching only one episode of Caillou, her Caillou. And no, not now. She was also becoming
Hell,
more
and we are
disobedient.
still acts like
Michael
this.
claims that her daughter picks up the line, but I want it now from him. In the show, Caillou is often seen to get away with this behavior. There's no pushbacks from his parents, making kids believe that they can act like this without any repercussions. In our second spot, we have the coma. It's quite sad, but apparently there's a legend out there that Caillou is in a coma. Legend goes that Caillou was in an accident when he was 4 years old that left him in a coma. He has been in a coma for decades, but his parents refuse to give up on him. As a result, each day his mom visits him and tells him a story from his childhood. So the female narrative that we hear is actually Caillou's mom. We are then seeing the
It's
story
not Heidi's mom. It's Clary's spaghetti.
is reenacted from Caillou's perspective. Furthermore, in all of the scenes, there's this white tight haze around the screen, making it seem more like a memory or a dream. Also in the show, all the colors are bright. There's lots of bright greens, yellows, and reds. We hardly see any dark colors. Well, it's because it's how a young child would see the world. Again, he rarely gets in trouble in the episodes because it's how Caillou is imagining the world. In his eyes, it's a world where he just never gets in trouble. He's making up what he wants.
I seriously hope Public Hole ends. Wait. Of course, the Caillou syndrome. Dude, let me start with that type of syndrome. Apparently, Edwina Atman sees Caillou as a role model. Edwina's been with Caillou ever since she was a baby. And even then, Edwina is still white and self-centered. Edwina has always been white and self-centered. It's unsurprising that Edwina is friends with the neighbor's granddaughter, Mars Padetti. White self-centered Edwina Atman. I seriously hope she's had a pop call. It's the series. You know what? I seriously hope that if she's a pop call, it's the final season of the show.
Wants to see and hear. Lastly, in several episodes, Caillou's parents are seen with cashiers, but we never see money being exchanged. In one episode, cashiers see and hear. It's a world where he just never gets in trouble. He's making up what he wants to see and hear. Lastly, in several episodes, Caillou's parents are seen with
And we
cashiers,
not always see
but we
Caillou as a
never
role
see
model.
money being exchanged.
Hell,
In
we
one
not
episode,
see
Caillou
Caillou
goes
as
to
a
the
role
museum
model
and the
today.
cashier just hands them an entry ticket without them even paying. Well, as a 4-year-old, he may not have started learning about exchanging money for goods, so that's why we never see this in his visions. And
I
at
hope
number one spot, we have the nightmares.
I hope
He may not have
Brittany
started learning about
causes
exchanging
very
money
strawberry
for goods,
great great.
so that's why we never see this in his visions. And at our number one spot, we have the nightmares. This is another supposed lost episode of Caillou. However, this one is slightly more disturbing. Legend goes that somewhere out there, there's an episode of Caillou called Caillou Goes on Magical Adventures. But this episode is anything but magical. In this episode, apparently you see Caillou going on a walk through the forest. And then behind one of the trees in the distance is none other than Slender Man himself.
I deserve that hot my Slender Man. He deserves being such a white self-centered jerk.
Caillou was standing at the end of his bed with blood dripping from his ears and eyes. The boy woke up from his dream and he had a bloody nose. So it's said that whoever watches this episode will be visited by a scary, haunted Caillou.
I hope
And
Brittany
that's all
wants
for
to
today's
very
video.
strawberry.
Let's move on to our
Great.
comment shout out portion. I'll be checking out. Looks like everyone's favorite Canadian rat is back. Looks like everyone's favorite Canadian rat is back.
That's
What am I
right.
talking about?
Caillou, what from my loot?
It's
Well, there,
hilarious
yeah,
how
what
much they
Riley?
hate Caillou. There are dozens of I Hate Caillou fan pages. If you search for Caillou hate, it turns up more than 4.
I swear to God, if Robert Hole ever gets an 11th season, I'm gonna be really, really mad. I swear to God, Robert Hole has better be renewed for an 11th season. Oh, it will, Eric, because I totally love Robert Hole. No, you didn't, Weena. Bad news, everybody. And we just force Nick Jr. to renew Robert Hole for another season. Yeah, I agree with you about me. Oh, he puts Russian Ford away.
And lastly, thousands of parents worldwide talk about the negative effects the show can have on children. But that's not all. There are also tons of scary facts and urban legends about Caillou that will haunt people for years. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Let's Make Your Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Caillou urban legends, part 2. Yes, this is part 2. Y'all like the first one so much that we decided to hit you with a second part. So if you haven't seen the first part already, make sure to check that out. Also, stick around to the end of the video to catch my comment shoutouts. With that being said, let's dive on into the video. Starting off this countdown, we have the Pebble. Now, pretty weird
Except
name.
because
I mean,
Caillou's
his
name
fits
in
super
English
rosy
is
and
Pebble.
with Caillou. And it's not like a traditional French name or anything, so why did
I-
the creators decide on that name?
I already know Caillou that's way better. Fred Flintstone!
The creator, she
Yeah,
named
because
the
in the
cartoon
Flintstone
after
of
the
Flintstones,
Francois Dalto's work.
Fred
As part of
Flintstone's
his work,
last
she
name was
asked
actually
them to
Caillou.
throw pebbles in exchange for
Fred
consultation.
Flintstone is way better than Caillou.
Actively
Be honest,
because
I
of
would
his
watch
very
Flintstones
bratty
than
and
Caillou
violent
any day.
nature. Maybe Caillou's parents are
I'm
so
sorry
passive
for
because they are
you.
tired
What's the
of
Flintstones
reprimanding
for the
Caillou.
rest
They
of
leave that to
your
his
life?
therapists, and they just
That's
do
what
whatever they
he
can at
that's
home
for,
to stop
being a
Caillou
wise
from whining,
self-centered, sir.
even if this means giving in to his demands. Or maybe Caillou was just grumpy all the time because they literally named him Pebble. Making our way down on list number 9, we have the journal. So,
Caillou
did you
never
know that
owned a
Caillou
journal.
did suffer from
bad news, everybody. Edwina's the forced her renew private home for the 11th season.
What he
I
wanted
swear
to
to God, Edwina.
So, as a
You
tribute
better
to his
not.
grandson, the boy
I
who
swear to
wrote
God,
Caillou's
that better not come through. Or else.
Moving on to number 8, we have the lost episode. Yeah, that's right, another creepy lost episode. There has to be like thousands out there. There's at least one for like every show. So this legend states that a father gifted his 4-year-old son with a Caillou DVD for Christmas. He got this DVD off of eBay and it was called The Lost Episode. But as we all know by now, never buy cheap lost episodes off of eBay. While he was eating dinner, his son was in the other room watching this episode. Suddenly, his son burst into the kitchen crying, saying, "Why did Caillou kill his parents?" Well, apparently in the episode, Caillou got very upset at his parents for not giving him what he wanted, so he killed them. His
Wait,
dad was
wait,
horrified at what he
what?
saw he wanted. This would happen.
There's
to
another
lost
lost episode.
Caillou's memory alive. Moving on to number 8, we have the lost episode. Yeah, that's right, another creepy lost
Brittany,
episode.
I need help.
Thousands
Wait,
out
wait,
there.
that's not
At least
nothing,
one
Dad.
every show. So this legend states that a father gifted his 4-year-old son with a Caillou DVD for Christmas. He got this DVD off of eBay and it was called The Lost Episode. But as we all know by now, never buy cheap lost episodes off of eBay. While he was eating dinner, his son was in the other room watching this episode. Suddenly, his son burst into the kitchen crying, saying, "Why did Caillou kill his parents?" Well, apparently in the episode, Caillou got very upset at his parents for not giving him what he wanted, so he killed them. His dad was horrified at what he saw, and apparently he even contacted PBS Kids. That's when they told him that the episode was created by an employee who kind of had holes in the business out there. There's at least one for like every show. So this legend states that a father gifted his 4-year-old son with a Caillou DVD for Christmas. He got this DVD off of eBay and it was called The Lost Episode. But as we all know by now, never buy cheap lost episodes off of eBay. While he was eating dinner, his son was in the other room watching this episode. Suddenly, his son burst into the kitchen crying, saying, "Why did Caillou kill his parents?"
Wait.
Apparently, in the
What?
episode, Caillou got very upset at his
How you
parents
guys
for
wholly
not giving him what he wanted.
How you guys wholly unacceptable?
His dad was horrified at what he saw, and apparently he even contacted PBS Kids. That's when they told him that the episode was created by an employee who kind of went off the deep end and ended up killing his family. And they don't know how this episode got leaked. In our second spot, we have the negativity. So, legend goes that Caillou doesn't have any hair because his own body is punishing him. Caillou's own body is shutting down because of his constant negative behavior. As a response to the constant stress Caillou subjects himself to, his body stopped producing hair. So maybe if Caillou wasn't so angry all the time, he would start to grow some hair. Moving on to number 6, we have the petition. Now, legend goes that apparently tons of parents and individuals hated the show so much that there were multiple petitions to get the show off air. They argued the show was sending the wrong people to grow some hair. Moving on to number 6, killing his family. And finally, he even contacted PBS Kids in the room watching this episode. Suddenly, his son burst into the kitchen crying, saying, "Why did Caillou kill his parents?"
Wait.
Apparently, in the
What?
episode, Caillou got very
How
upset
you guys wholly
not giving him. Son burst into the kitchen for dinner. His son was in the other room watching this episode. Suddenly, his son burst into the kitchen crying, saying, "Why did Caillou kill his parents?" so angry all the time, he would start to grow some hair.
That's why I kept reading the White House that shirt.
Now, legend goes that apparently tons of parents and individuals hated the show so much that there were multiple petitions to get the show off air.
And
They
let's
argued
read
that
the
the show
Hebrew.
was sending the wrong message to kids. Basically, Caillou was teaching them that they can get their own way just by throwing temper tantrums. They were worried that kids would start to copy Caillou's behavior, so they wanted to remove it from air. Now, it turns out that this is
Brittany, I need help. Little hot and fruit girls are being annoyed at Dad.
We're now at our fifth and halfway mark with the banned episode. Apparently, a bunch
Yeah, I
of
know
older
the band
episodes
episode
of
how you
Caillou
are.
were permanently banned from PBS Kids. These episodes featured Caillou lying to his mother, tormenting his cat, and hitting his little sister with
Wait,
a
wait,
book.
wait.
These episodes
Who
featured
made
his
it,
mother,
Cat?
tormenting his cat, and hitting his
Of
little
course.
sister with a
Yeah,
book.
but so
These
how
episodes
this
were
is
deemed
Rosie.
too inappropriate
I
for
said
children to
behavior,
watch
Caillou.
and
I
have
said
been pulled
behavior.
from air. They only exist now in our memories since they are not allowed to broadcast these particular episodes again. Coming in at number 4, we have the dead parents. So why is it that Caillou can get away with everything? Are his parents just really passive? Or is it because they're dead? This legend suggests the latter. So legend goes that Caillou's parents passed away in a car accident. Caillou and Rosie are now being looked after by their grandparents. But Caillou is delusional and imagines that his parents are still there with him. This legend suggests the latter. So, legend goes that Caillou's parents passed away in a car accident. Caillou and Rosie are now being looked after by their grandparents.
It's how you
But
ever
Caillou is
be.
delusional and imagines that his parents are still there with him. He then convinced Rosie to also start imagining them as well. That's what Appy's parents. So why is it that Caillou can get away
Hubba
with
hubbas.
everything?
Yeah.
Are his
Hubba
parents
hubbas
just
in
really
who
passive?
what? And rolling somewhere far away. Who? The hoops away better.
Legend goes is to have the dead parents. Sister with a book. These episodes
Hubba hubbas
in
in who what? And rolling somewhere far away. Who? The hoops away better. I will ever be. I wish I did exist. I rather want the hoops and how you and the hoops away better. The hoops is the way better. So to what? I am how you just heard me.
Caillou and Rosie
I
are
am
now
how
being
you
looked
never
after by their
exist.
grandparents. But
The
Caillou
hoops
is
away
delusional
better
and
than how you
imagines
ever
that his
be.
parents are still there
Who?
with him. He then convinced Rosie to also start imagining them as well. That's why Caillou gets away with everything. His parents aren't actually there to scold him. As a result, Caillou makes up these scenarios and determines its outcome, which is often in his favor. In our first spot, we have the unaired episode. So legend goes that at the PBS studio, there was an animator for Caillou named Daniel, who created a very disturbing episode of Caillou. In this episode, which he titled Family Secrets, Caillou's mom finds out that her husband was cheating on her and goes on a killing spree. She kills Caillou's teachers, dad, and grandparents. Then the episode ends with Caillou's dad killing himself because he finds out that Caillou was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer and he couldn't deal losing another person in his life. Needless to say, Daniel was fired and the episode never aired. In our second spot, we have the Giants. So Caillou and his family seem to be a pretty typical family, right? Well, yes. Besides the fact that they're giants. So if you Google how tall Caillou is, search results will say that he's
Yours and fours are not actually giant.
which is fine, except the fact that he is 4 years old. So how tall does that make Caillou's parents? Well, apparently Caillou's dad is around 12 feet. In the opening song, it says, he's just a boy who's 4. Each day he grows some more.
And
Meaning
the
that
other
Caillou
room.
is growing every day along with his parents. So they're probably a family of giants. In fact, the whole Caillou universe might be filled with giant-sized people. And in our number 1 spot, we have the defiant disorder. Legend goes that Caillou behaves the way he does because he suffers from oppositional defiant disorder. So let me give you a little rundown on what's common behavior for children with ODD. If a child has ODD, then they may be more defiant, argumentative, and hostile towards their friends, parents, and teachers. They may refuse to follow rules, because he suffers a disorder. Legend goes that Caillou behaves the way he does because he suffers from oppositional defiant disorder. So let me give you a little rundown on what's common behavior for children with ODD. If a child has ODD, then they may be more defiant, argumentative, and hostile towards their friends, parents, and teachers. They may refuse to follow rules, deliberately act a certain way to annoy others. They may be unwilling to compromise, and last but not least, they may repeatedly throw temper tantrums. Remind you of anyone? This definitely perfectly sums up Caillou. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout out.
You're not a bell like that, Mary. Brittany, do something. Yeah, I agree with you about Miko. And Lena and Zelda and Harry are brats. They still have hair. Now we're doing. Alright, everybody. We don't heard about the high theories now. Now we're doing to the cake theories now. Mr. Me! Thanks, Leo. Jesus Christ, that was garbage stuff.
around a preschooler pig named Peppa.
We already know what that show
The
is.
show is
And
shown
it's
in
boring.
country.
Just don't
There's a
see.
Peppa Pig
Hey,
theme in New
look
Hampshire
at
and
some
Peppa
nuts.
merchandise,
And some
making
pipes
Peppa
out
a $1 billion industry. But is Peppa all that wholesome? You should
No.
hope so if your children and siblings are watching her. But is Peppa all that wholesome?
No,
You should hope
Peppa
so if your
is
children
not
and siblings
wholesome.
are watching her. But after watching this video, you might think otherwise. Let's tell you 10 dark Peppa Pig, the
Yeah, I know
beloved British
Peppa Pig
preschool
is.
animated series that revolves around a preschooler pig named Peppa, her friends and family. The show is a series that revolves Peppa Pig, the beloved British. Peppa Pig, the beloved British preschool animated series that revolves around a preschooler pig named Peppa.
We already know
Her
Peppa
friends
Pig
and
is.
family. The show
It's
is shown
boring.
in 200
Just don't
countries.
see.
There's a Peppa
Hey,
Pig theme
heard
park
that.
in New
Some
Hampshire
don't see.
and
Nobody
Peppa
cares.
merchandise,
And
making
some
Peppa
pipes
a
are
$1
in.
billion. But is Peppa all that merchandise, making Peppa a $1 billion industry? But is Peppa all that
you are
wholesome?
a free
You should hope
pig.
so if your children and
Literally.
siblings are watching her. But after watching this video, you might think
I
otherwise.
agree with you about
I'm
me,
about to
though.
tell you 10 dark Peppa Pig
I
theories that
hope
will
that
ruin your
I'm
childhood.
yep.
Or your child's childhood.
Yeah,
Any more
I
Marvel
agree with you
Peppa
about
Pig
me,
theories that
though.
will ruin your childhood.
I really
Or
hope
your
the going
child's
up front
childhood. Well,
is...
Maxine more Marvel will be overlooking theories that will ruin your childhood. Or your child's childhood.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Maxine
agree with you
Marvel
about
will
me,
be
though.
overlooking you
I really hope
information
the
on
going
Chili
up
Red.
front
I don't
is
got
any
action
good.
top 10. Subscribe for spicy news.
I already know what this stuff is screaming about now. She still doing loads of pheasants concert tonight.
Updates and epic lists, and follow the IO team on social media. Here are 10 dark Peppa Pig theories that will ruin your childhood. At number 10, Peppa Pig has 4. Subscribe for spicy news updates and epic lists, and follow the IO team on social media. Here are 10 dark Peppa Pig theories that will ruin your childhood. At
Hey,
number
don't
10,
look like Sarah
Peppa
Boy.
Pig has 4 eyes and 4 nostrils.
Oh,
Have you ever
that
noticed
is
that Peppa
definitely
Pig is a
true.
2D pig
Peppa
and her
Pig
eyes
does
are
have
always
4
on the side
eyes.
of her head? Peppa always appears
Peppa
side
really
on.
does have 4
Only half
eyes.
her face is ever visible. This strange theory has led led some people to believe that she might actually look really scary from a front view. One artist shared an image of what he believes Peppa looks like really scary from a front view.
Good
One artist
grief.
shared it people side on. Only half her face is ever visible. This strange theory has led some people to believe that she might actually look really scary from a front view.
God damn,
One
that's
artist shared an image
creepy.
of what he believes Peppa looks like from the front on Twitter. And friends, it ain't pretty.
Yeah,
It shows
not
Peppa with
pretty.
full eyes and is ever visible.
Wait,
This
let me see
strange
that
theory has
again.
led some people to believe that she might actually look really scary from a front view.
God damn, that's
One artist shared an
creepy.
image of what he believes Peppa looks like from the front on Twitter. And friends, it ain't pretty.
Yeah,
It shows Peppa
a
with
pig,
full eyes
you're
and
not
four
pretty
nostrils.
at
It
all.
is safe to say that the image went viral and racked up tens of thousands of likes, and I'm never going to be able to unsee it. Four-eyed Peppa Pig. Those four eyes make her far less cute, more like a Peppa the Spider Pig. Went viral and racked up tens of thousands of likes, and I'm never going to be able to unsee it. A four-eyed Peppa Pig. Those four eyes make her far less cute, more like a Peppa the Spider Pig.
Yeah, I
Peppa
agree
Pig
with
is
you.
actually 7 feet
Peppa,
tall.
you are a
Peppa
spider
Pig is in
pig.
preschool, and one of the reasons why she's so cute and appealing to preschoolers is
Stop this party, nobody cares. You're not awesome if you like it or not.
she's on. Let me put a photo of a four-eyed Peppa Pig. Those four eyes make her far less cute, more like a Peppa the Spider Pig.
Yeah, I agree with you. Peppa, you are a spider pig.
And one of the reasons why she's so cute and appealing to preschoolers is because
And
she's
Ollie
small.
Pig is
But a
spider
viral
pig.
photo of a supposed Google search appears to show that Peppa Pig is actually 7'1". And the better question is, if Peppa Pig is 7 feet tall, then how tall is Daddy Pig? Spoiler alert, 12 foot 6 inches. Suddenly Peppa Pig is not very cute anymore. Do you know any children who wouldn't be afraid of a giant 7 foot
Peppa
tall
was
pig?
never
A
cute.
woman and I would run the heck away from a 7 foot tall pig. Sliding into age, where are Peppa Pig's grandparents? Peppa
They're
Pig only
already
has one
here.
set of grandparents, who are Mummy Pig's parents. The show never introduces Daddy Pig's parents as characters. There are several theories about what happened
God
to Daddy
knows
Pig's
where they
parents
are.
and why they're not included. The first
Some is dummy, whether if you like it or not.
Daddy Pig's parents are dead. They're pigs, so maybe they were killed and turned into pork products. The second, Daddy Pig doesn't have a good relationship with his parents and he hates them. The third, Mummy Pig does not get along with Daddy Pig's parents, which most people believe is most likely because Mummy Pig's parents are rich. Maybe Daddy Pig's parents weren't rich and they didn't approve of their relationship. The last theory is the most disturbing. Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig are
No,
actually
that's
brother and
real,
sister
that's a
with
lie.
only one set of parents. And number 7, animal hierarchy.
Barry! That's it.
Ever wonder why some animals in the show are still animals and others are human-like? We know that Peppa Pig is a talking pig with human characteristics. So is the rest of her family and her friends. They have human-like interactions, human-like problems. But why is it that there's also other animals in the show that are just animals? Ducks and Peppa Pig don't talk. They swim around the pond and they quack like regular ducks. Polly the parrot is also just a parrot. She's Granny and Grandpa Pig's pet. There are actually several pets in Peppa Pig that don't talk. They're just pets. Why? One blogger from the Houston Press might have the answer. There are slaves and food. He likens Peppa Pig's universe to that of George Orwell's Animal Farm. And if you didn't read that growing up, it's a book about a group of farm animals that have rebelled against their human farmer in order to make a society where animals are equal, free, and happy. With respect to Peppa's world, the theory is that Peppa's world is one where humans are no longer at the top of the food chain. Instead, mammals have made it up the ranks. All the lesser animals have taken on the sub-roles. Animal Farm is not a happy book, and it basically revolves around the theme that socialism doesn't work, and there's always going to be people trying to secure power for themselves. Oh, and did I mention the main antagonist in Animal Farm is a power-hungry dictator and a pig named Napoleon? At number 6 on our list, Peppa Pig is for punks. Did you know that Peppa Pig is banned in China? Back in May of 2018, it was reported that you couldn't search hashtag Peppa Pig named Napoleon. At number 6 on our list, Peppa Pig is for punks. Did you know that Peppa Pig is banned in China?
Yeah.
Back in May of 2018, it was reported that you couldn't search hashtag Peppa Pig on Douyin, one of China's most popular video apps. That's because over 30,000 Peppa videos were removed from the platform. You also couldn't search the cat's phrase, get a tattoo of Peppa Pig, give a round of applause to gangsters on the platform.
Now what the hell's the matter? I already told you before, Miss Dummy. You're the one that has to play or not. Miss Dummy was screaming and the police is... Miss Marty was screaming in Miss Saxon's car.
Platform Weibo. This is because Chinese internet users in China have associated Peppa Pig with a culture called Ren, which translates to society people. Ren are anti-establishment street punks who go against Chinese mainstream values, and Peppa Pig just happens to be their icon. Of course, this is against the law in China, so Peppa is banned. The Communist Party newspaper once said that Peppa should, I quote, not be allowed to destroy children's childhood. Halfway there at number 5, Peppa Pig is making your children naughty. Kids love Peppa Pig, and that much is true. It seems to be an innocent cartoon. Not be allowed to destroy children's childhood. Halfway there at number 5, Peppa Pig is making your children naughty.
I
Kids love
agree.
Peppa Pig, and that much is true. It seems to be an innocent cartoon about a pig and his friends and family. But it seems to be so popular that kids are starting to copy her behavior. This phenomenon is called the Peppa effect. At first, the Peppa effect was cute. Kids started adopting cute little British accents and calling their mothers mummy, and they started oinking. But child fans of Peppa Pig are also copying her other behavior as well. Because most of the children that watch Peppa Pig are preschoolers, their brains are still developing. Nothing but watch Peppa Pig, they're gonna start copying her bad traits too. Kids started adopting cute little British accents and calling their mothers pets. So the kids are starting to copy her behavior. This phenomenon is called the Peppa effect. At first, the Peppa effect was cute. Kids started adopting cute little British accents and calling their mothers mummy, and they started oinking. But child fans of Peppa Pig are also copying her other behavior as well. Because most of the children that watch Peppa Pig are preschoolers, their brains are still developing. Therefore, if your child does nothing but watch Peppa Pig, they're going to start copying her bad traits too. Peppa can be bossy, rude, and condescending. I don't care how cute you are as a 3-year-old girl. If you're bossy, you ain't so cute anymore. Peppa makes fun of her dad all the time. She's short with her friends when she doesn't get her way, and she throws tantrums. Many parents have been reporting that their children are copying Peppa's favorite phrases when similar scenarios come up in their real lives. Imagine the type of subliminal messages the show might be subconsciously sending your children.
Wait,
Which leads me to my
wait.
next couple of
Subliminal
points.
messages.
At number 4, Peppa Pig is telling kids they won't have a stable income.
Yes, it's always behavior right there, Peppa.
This phenomenon where many millennials are experiencing that instead of having one stable job that pays them enough money to survive, people have to get multiple jobs. The rise of the gig economy is definitely prevalent in today's society. While contract employees have always been around, there's been a definite increase in the amount of them. Being a contractor has its perks, but you also don't get any employment benefits, no job security, and definitely no dental. The creators of Peppa Pig included this phenomenon in the show through the character Miss Rabbit, who had many different jobs. She's been a Christmas tree seller, a supermarket cashier, a helicopter pilot, a fire engine driver, and even a dental nurse, just to name a few. The theory is that the character of Miss Rabbit in Peppa Pig is teaching children that they need to be prepared for a life of employment uncertainty. In at 3, Peppa Pig is a tool for commie propaganda. Peppa Pig is a show that is by all accounts woke. And by that I mean it has themes that are very liberal or communist, depending on how far right you are on the political spectrum. Peppa Pig has feminist employment uncertainty. In at 3, Peppa Pig is a tool for commie propaganda. Peppa Pig is a show that is by all accounts woke. And by that I mean it has themes that are very life of employment uncertainty. In at 3, Peppa Pig is a tool for commie propaganda. Peppa Pig is a show that is by
Communist.
and by that I mean it has themes
Yes,
that are very
always behavior right there,
or
Peppa.
communist, depending on how far right you are on the political spectrum. Peppa Pig has feminist characters, strong female leads including Miss Rabbit, who always seems to have a new job. And many of those jobs would have been seen as traditionally male 20 years ago. Other themes in the show include equal marriage, multiculturalism, and fanatical environmentalism, which has led some to believe that the show is communist, Marxist propaganda that molds children's minds from a young age. Also now number 2, Peppa Pig's dark origin story, which has led some to believe that the show is communist, Marxist propaganda that molds from a young age. Also there now number 2, Peppa Pig's dark origin story. There's a theory that exists on Reddit put forward by Reddit user Banana04, and that theory is that Peppa is based on a real girl of the same name. This girl lives in Tennessee in a secluded wooden area. On Reddit put forward by Reddit user Banana04, and that theory is that Peppa is based on a real girl of the same name. This girl lives in Tennessee in a secluded wooden area, and her parents were awful human beings. They were mentally unstable, with tendency to abuse
Nobody
and
does.
their favorite name for her was Pig. They would call her a pig repeatedly, so often that Peppa began to think of imaginary friends of other animals. The girl Peppa is supposedly based on also had a brother, but her brother was not abused in the same way that she
That's right, Leo.
He was, so she tried to kill him. Her parents caught her in the act and locked her in the basement of their house, where she starved to death. It is thought that this origin story came to light because a man
Not
took them
true.
to abused area, and her parents were awful human beings. They were mentally unstable, which caused them to abuse Peppa, and their favorite name for her, the same name. The Pig's dark origin story. There's a theory that exists on Reddit put forward by Reddit user Banana04, and that theory is that Peppa is based on a real girl of the same name. This girl lived in Tennessee in a secluded wooden area, and her parents were awful human beings. They were mentally unstable, which caused them to abuse Peppa, and their favorite name for her was Pig. They would call her a pig repeatedly, so often that Peppa began to think of imaginary friends that were other animals. And that theory is that Peppa is based on a real girl of the same Peppa Pig's dark origin story. There's a theory that exists on Reddit put forward by Reddit user Banana04, and that theory is that Peppa is based on a real girl of the same name. This girl lived in Tennessee in a secluded wooden area, and her parents were awful human beings. They were mentally unstable, which caused them to abuse Peppa, and their favorite name for her was Pig. They would call her a pig repeatedly, so often that Peppa began to think of imaginary friends that were other animals. The girl Peppa is supposedly based on also had a brother, but her brother was not abused in the same way that she was, so she tried to kill him. Her parents caught her in the act and locked her in the basement of their house, where she starved to death. It is thought that this origin story came to light because a man claims to have gotten lost in the woods in Tennessee, and he came across the exact house. Peppa's parents agreed to let him stay in the basement, forgetting Peppa was still down there. And the number one dark Peppa Pig theory on our list, Peppa is brainwashing your children with satanic messages. Starting things off, those pig faces look like, well, male genitalia, leading some people to believe that there are subliminal messages. There are also moments that the show displays Illuminati symbols and Freemasonry symbols. The pig's curly tail, they form a six. And when there's three pigs in a row, like there often is, it forms
That's
666,
right.
the number of the
It's
devil.
only what
And even the fact that Peppa is a pig could be seen as satanic. Pigs are traditionally seen as dirty animals, especially by Jewish and Muslim people, which is why
sound effect that was heard.
they don't eat pork. But they aren't the only ones who don't think highly of pigs. In Christianity, Jesus casts out demons and turns them into pigs in Matthew 8. Pigs, along with rams and goats, are consistently associated with the devil, or at the very least, pigs are the minions of Satan. In many different cultures across the world, there are demons in the form of pigs. There's some food for thought. Alright, there you have it. Do you think any of these dark theories could be true? Or are you never going to watch Peppa Pig again? Does this make you want to
never
watch
gonna watch
Peppa Pig?
Peppa Pig ever again. And there's more. There's another one.
Peppa Pig, the lovable cartoon worth over $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Peppa Pig,
Don't be
Harley
kidding me,
Bird,
Peppa!
earns over $1,000
Wow, Peppa, free
per
pig.
hour. That's
Literally.
insane. I wish I had her job. Hey everyone, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10 and welcome to today's video. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm going to share with you the top 10 times Peppa Pig ruined your childhood. So, Peppa Pig is a show that thousands of kids worldwide watch. Probably a show that defined a lot of children's childhood. So, if you don't want your memories of Peppa to be tainted, I suggest you not watch this video. So, Peppa Pig, for those of you who don't know, is a British animated show that follows the life of Peppa, a little preschool-aged pig. Seems completely harmless, but I'll be telling you otherwise. Starting off this countdown, we have foul language.
I agree with you. Peppa Pig.
Starting off this countdown,
Yeah,
we
I
have
agree with you.
foul
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig, for those of you who don't know, is a British animated show that follows the life of Peppa, a little preschool-aged pig. Seems completely harmless, but I'll be telling you otherwise. Starting off this countdown, we have foul language. So, Peppa is known to be fairly sassy. She definitely has an attitude problem, but at least the show doesn't use bad language, right?
Well, Peppa, I heard that. You swear.
Children to
Cross
swear.
over that
So,
is.
a mother claims that after watching a particular episode, her daughter regularly used the F word. She learned this
I
from
already
the
know what
episode
episode
titled
that
End of
is.
Term Party.
The
During this
episode
episode,
where
the characters are talking about
it's that
Peppa's school
Bob
teacher, Madam
Famous Party
Gazelle, and her
episode.
past as a guitar. Well, parents were saying that the show actually taught their children to swear. So, a mother claims that after watching a particular episode, her daughter regularly used the F word. She
I already know what episode that is. It's Madam Gazelle's doing a way party.
This from the show actually taught their children to swear, right? Well, parents were saying that the show actually taught their children to swear. So, a mother claims that after watching a particular episode, her daughter regularly used the F word.
I already know what episode that is. It was in that Madam Gazelle's Leaving Party episode.
And this from the episode titled End of Term Party. During this episode, the characters are talking about Peppa's school teacher, Madam Gazelle, and her past as a guitarist in a band. Grandpa Rabbit then says the line, that's right, she played the guitar with the rocking gazelles. But it sounds like he says the effing gazelles. What's worse is that people then made parody videos where they dub over the cartoon and make them swear and say inappropriate things. It shows Peppa cussing out her parents and friends and making Luke comments, completely ruining the show. Moving on.
Why should you tap Learn More below and take the free Ohio Solar Home Survey? Great question. Listen up, because this info will save you thousands. In August, Congress passed the Inflation Reduction Act.
And at number 9, we have the adult jokes. So there are tons of children movies and shows that have jokes specifically for the adult audiences that are often forced to watch alongside their child. It is shown that Peppa Pig does this as well. So in one episode, Freddie the Fox is talking to his dad and he says, I've just watched children movies and shows that have jokes specifically for the adult audiences that are often forced to watch alongside their child. It is shown that Peppa Pig does this as well. So in line, we have the adult jokes. So there are tons of children movies and shows that have jokes specifically for the adult audiences that are often forced to watch alongside their child. It is shown that Peppa Pig does this as well. So in one episode, Freddie the Fox is talking to his dad and he says, I've just had my dinner down a rabbit hole. No explanation needed. In the episode called Shake, Rattle, and Bang,
Wait.
Freddie the Fox
What?
is talking to his dad and he says, I've just had my dinner down a rabbit hole. No explanation needed. In
That's
the episode
disgusting.
called Shake, Rattle, and Bang, the children are trying out musical instruments for the first time. As a result, they're all playing them and making a lot of noise. That's when Madame Gazelle says, anybody can bang, bang, bang. These are just some of the innuendos that people have found. If you knew what these jokes meant as a child, then it definitely would have changed your perspective on the show. In our 8th spot, we have fat shaming.
Of
There are
course.
countless episodes where
Peppa
Peppa
Pig
is making
to
fun
her
of her
own
dad's
dad.
appearance for being
That's
more
heartless
plump than
right
the
there.
others. She's
Heartless,
constantly
heartless
making snarky
Peppa.
remarks about her dad's weight and stomach, which you can see upsets her father. So
Yeah.
how is this going to impact
I really
developing
feel
children?
bad for
They're
Dad
literally
Pig.
going to think that fat shaming is acceptable. So
It's
here
not
are some
acceptable.
examples. In one episode,
Peppa's
Peppa is
being
in her
heartless.
treehouse. Her dad asks to come in, but Peppa will only let him in with the secret word, which is Daddy's big tummy.
That's
In another
totally
episode,
heartless
her
right
dad
there.
wants to go down the slide, but Peppa says, Daddy, you're too big to go down the slide. When he gets stuck halfway on the slide, she laughs. Her dad is embarrassed and says, it's
Are you
funny. She
kidding
replies,
me?
it looks very funny, Daddy. And
Peppa's
then you have the
really heartless
episode
right
where
there.
Peppa needs a partner for a race. Her dad is so excited to be her partner, but Peppa bluntly says that he sucks at running.
Ah!
Of her just being rude
Peppa,
to her
stop
dad
being
and he
heartless
doesn't look
already.
fit, or his tummy is too big. How is that going to make
Stop
kids feel if they
fighting
end up
with
being
your
bullied
dad,
like this
babe.
for
Group
their weight?
up.
Coming in at number 7, we have ageism. In Peppa Pig, there are multiple times where the show pokes fun at someone's old age. It seems like they're shaming the older characters and discriminating against them because of their age. So in the episode titled Granny and Grandpa's Attic, Peppa asks her grandpa what an attic is. Her grandpa replies with, it's where we keep all our old things. Then Peppa says, like you, Grandpa Pig? And in another episode is her dad's birthday, and he's about to blow out the candles on his cake. That's when he says, wow, there's a lot of candles. And Peppa replies with, that's because you're really old, Daddy. Now, these seem like innocent
Wait.
And
What
Peppa
Peppa
replies
say?
with, that's because you're really old, Daddy. Now,
You got
these seem
kids
like
right
innocent little
there.
jokes. But honestly, ageism
That's
is a very serious
Peppa.
issue and can have negative effects on the elderly. For our 6th spot, we have the Peppa effect. With Peppa Pig's increasing popularity, there are tons of children across the world watching it, meaning there are tons of children being influenced by the show. Reports say that children who watched the show started to copy Peppa's behavior. This includes having a slight British accent and even snorting. But this means that kids were also picking up her disrespectful behavior. They call this influence the Peppa effect. Peppa is shown to be rude to her parents and friends. In fact, she even says things like, I don't like you anymore, you're not my best friend. So
Oh,
parents
that's
reported
weird.
saying that kids were the Peppa effect. Peppa is shown to be rude to her parents and friends. In fact, she even says things like, I don't like you anymore, you're not my best friend. So, and snorting. But this means that kids were also picking up her disrespectful behavior. They call this influence the Peppa effect. Peppa is shown to be rude to her parents and friends. In fact, she even says things like, I don't like you anymore, you're not my best friend.
Hell,
So
at
parents
least that's
reported
still.
saying that kids were being the Peppa effect. Peppa picking up her disrespectful behavior. They call this influence the Peppa effect. Peppa is shown to be rude to her parents and friends. In fact, she even says things like, I don't like you anymore, you're not my best friend. So, here, they call this influence the Peppa effect. Having a slight, meaning there are tons of children being influenced by the show. Reports say that children things like, I don't like you anymore, you're not my best friend.
How?
Parents
And
reported
then
saying that
still
kids
she's
were being
there
more
as a role
defiant
model.
and having bad
Oh, she
attitudes
does
after
have a British
watching the
accent.
show. A research study also proved that their show was making kids lose their capability of developing empathy. So, yeah, kids were literally turning into Peppa. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the horror episodes. So, Peppa the Pig isn't a scary show at all. It's brightly colored and lighthearted. However, there are individuals out there that have made their own episodes. Well, have completely taken away the innocence of the show.
Wait.
Kids were literally turning kids lose their capability of developing empathy. So, yeah, kids were literally turning into Peppa. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the horror episodes.
I have not
Peppa
watched
Pig
those
isn't a
horror
scary show at
episodes
all.
of
It's
a
brightly
friend.
colored and lighthearted.
Sure.
However, there are individuals out there that have made their own episodes. Well, have completely taken away the innocence of the show. So, in some of these videos, it starts off, have completely taken away the innocence
I
of the
feel
show.
good back
So,
before
in some of these
that.
videos, it starts off looking like a normal episode. Then, all of a sudden, it's filled with blood and violence. In one
Are you
episode,
kidding
Peppa and her brother
me?
are being chased around the house by their dad holding a bloody knife. Then they run into the kitchen where they find their mom's head cut up on a plate. In another episode, you have Peppa at the dentist. Her teeth are being pulled out, and then later on, an axe gets wedged in her head. There have been lots of reports of parents letting their kids watch these episodes thinking that they're just from the normal show, only to be horrified when they see the violence. In our 4th spot, we have Peppa's real height. This one shocked me quite a bit when I learned it, but apparently Peppa is 7'1". That's right. She may look like a little pig, but in fact she is a towering monster. That means that all her friends that appear to be around the same height as Peppa are also 7 feet tall. But on the show, Peppa isn't shown to be the tallest
Peppa
character.
is
That
awesome.
means that the adults are even taller than her. In fact, Peppa's dad is a whopping 14 feet tall, and her mom is 11 feet tall. That's horrifying. They literally are mutated giant pigs. Moving on to number 3, we have Satanism. So, apparently, some people believe that satanic messages are hidden inside episodes.
Wait.
Mutated
Satanism!
pigs. Moving on to number 3, we have Satanism. So,
Ah,
apparently,
Peppa
some people
is
believe that
Satanism.
satanic
I'm
messages are
correct.
hidden inside episodes of Peppa Pig. So, first off, pigs are thought to be associated with the devil. There are multiple demons that have taken the form as pigs, or demons that
all
have been
pigs
turned
are the
into
devil.
pigs. Then
Have
people
it
claim to
George
have
on
seen a
the
lot
other
of hidden
hand
energies in the show, like how her flashlight
Have it George
also taps their
really
house
are
include
demons.
all-seeing eye, which is often associated with the Illuminati. Then people say that when the characters bring their hands together, it looks like they form horns, looking like devil horns.
Are you
And
kidding
people
me?
think that all the pigs' tails look like the number 6. Now, they're often seen together, meaning that if there are 3 pigs, their tails would form 666. They also say that the 666 design was also seen on one of the instruments used during the episode Shake, Rattle, and Bang. So, what do you think? Are people overanalyzing the show and ruining it for others, or what? In our 2nd spot, we have Peppa is a real girl. So,
Peppa's
this
not a
theory
real
will literally
girl.
make you
She's
look
a
at the show
normal pig.
completely differently. So, one person made a theory that Peppa the Pig is based off a real human girl by the same
Who
name.
is a
They say
human
that
girl
Peppa was a young
Peppa?
girl that lived
Nobody
an isolated
does.
life with mentally unstable parents. She herself had countless medical conditions, including schizophrenia. Her parents would constantly abuse her and call her a pig. This made her convince herself that she actually was one. She would then have imaginary friends, which were animals. One day, Peppa killed her brother George after a fit of rage. As a result, her parents locked her in a basement. Then one day, a man got lost in the woods and stumbled upon Peppa's home. Parents let this man stay the night where he encountered Peppa. As a result, he learned of her story and decided to turn it into a show. But instead of it being a dark show, he gave her the positive, happy life she never had. Coming in at number 1, we have Peppa the Cannibal. That's right, Peppa is a pig that loves eating bacon. So in one episode, you can see Peppa eating pizza. However, it looks like the positive, happy life she never had. Coming in at number 1, we have Peppa the Cannibal. That's right, Peppa is a pig that loves eating bacon. So in one episode, you can see Peppa eating pizza. However, it looks as if there are Roni on it. Or should I say, pepperoni. If that wasn't bad enough, someone decided to make a video about Peppa's cannibalism. So, in the video, Peppa tries bacon for the first time. After that, she becomes obsessed with the taste. She even goes as far as to biting into her dad's stomach and
Are
eating
you
it.
kidding me?
Eating her mom as well before trying to get to her brother. But he hides out in the basement. When she has no more pigs to eat, she starts shredding off her own arm skin and
Are you
eating it.
kidding me?
Very disgusting. And that's
Peppa,
the
hold
video. You
yourself.
know the drill. As always, more pigs to eat, she starts shredding off her own
Are you
arm
kidding
skin
me,
and eating
Peppa?
it. That's just very disgusting. And
Peppa,
raw.
hold
And that's it for today's
stick.
video. You know the drill.
That's
As always, don't forget to
disturbing.
give this video a big thumbs up and comment something down below.
You know what? You know what? I'm starting to get really tired. Well, guys, I'm getting really tired. Well, guys, I'm getting really tired. So I'm gonna have to end this live stream. I had a really good time today. Well, guys, that's all I have to say for this video. I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Bye, Antonio. Bye, Leo. Bye, Lynn. Bye, Son Sylvie. Bye, Style. Bye, Belfamino. Something, Stubby. Nobody cares. Yeah, I review my video. For save, Peppa. For save. And next live stream, I'm going to be on more about Peppa theory, so stay tuned for that. Well, guys, that's all I have to say for this video. I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Bye, Leo. Bye, Antonio. Bye, Logan. Bye, Style. Bye, Toby. Bye, Balfamino. Bye, everybody. Bye.